please forgive me for my transgressions. Oh, yeah.
Yo, we live in misery, ghetto infested, crack facilities where people struggle and strive against their own abilities. I tried to put the people on and tell them what they doing is wrong. An epidemic, this is prolonged. Misery, the day that Christ was betrayed, as he sat and broke bread, one had a scheme to hold him back. Now picture this, living your life at the age of 12, going around town telling the wise men to get on track, and growing up, walking in the footsteps of Christ, knowing death, knowing the time Satan tempts you in the night. Fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, afflictions, praying for strength in the Lord to overcome this. And what about the times when they doubted you, didn't believe because they couldn't see what it is to see? You got eyes but they don't see, you got ears but they don't hear. That's why we living in misery.
Lord, forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again. Lord, forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again.
Attempting to reach the promised land, pay homage and praise to Yahweh Shai. Why should he even acknowledge man? We represent the 12 tribal, even the families of Israel, spoken of all over the Bible, awaiting the arrival of the Son of Man. If the truth hurts, then duck down, cause his verse is homicidal. Bust my gun in hand, destroying my arch rival. He's on the ground, stretched out like a rubber band. Shot him 7 times, I understand. Don't take it literal, condition is critical, cause every shot was spiritual. 3 shots to the face, judgment, mercy, and faith. By the grace of the Most High that we weren't replaced. 3 more shots landed, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Without these, your spirit abandons your body, and now your flesh is left stranded. The last was love, most powerful force on the planet. Source is outlandish, a place where the lost in our hearts will be branded. Living out the true example of what a man is. Our minds are like a fragile package that's damaged. The eyes of the Lord got us on candid camera, watching us whatever we do. Forever he rules. For us the Red Sea was severed in two.
Faith for all Israel to have. Right. They crucified the Son of Man. Wicked acts like him. I ran since I was a slave, mentally pained. I cry out to the Lord, but never in vain. We soon reign and have dominance like the days of old King Solomon. Low in tolerance. The Lord covenant, the promised land. Right. The kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen.
Forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again. Lord, forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again.
Ever since I get the Spirit of the Lord, I've been walking in the righteous path of Yahweh Shai, trying to keep my head up as I walk by all of the simple and perverse. Boy, this world is such a curse when I tell you, I mean there is no sign of the truth. No more praying in the booths or the tabernacles and our solemn feasts when we used to eat all the holy things put before the Most High when we cover sins. Man, you should have been there when I tell you what the hell you call this wretched ass place, such a disgrace. Man, we've been misplaced, Lord, we've been praised. Now we're praising every day, wishing you were here, looking up the sky where we know that you will appear. Come on down, lift us up, take us out of here. Bring us to a land where the righteous is always near. And it's all about faith, cause there ain't no fear.
Lord, forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again. Lord, forgive me, for I've sinned over and over again, and again and again and again.
I was despised and rejected, spit on and disrespected, came to my own afflicted. Why didn't they listen to me? The greatest sacrifice no other man could ever give. I gave my life and soul, knowing it would make you live. Spirit was willing, with my flesh I had to overcome. I asked my Father, pass this cup, but I was the only one to do His will, fulfill the scriptures to perfection. Lay down my life in hope of reconciliation. Christ is on His way. Will you be waiting for me? Christ is on His way. Will I find faith in Thee? Christ is on His way. Come to end all this confusion. Christ is on His way. Establish eternal righteous ruling. Christ is on His way. Will you be ready for me? Christ is on His way. Oh, will I find iniquity? Christ is on His way. I bear the sins of many. Christ is on His way. How could you do this to me? Of all the families on earth, you only have I known. My sheep who's lost in this world, to you my love was shown. I came to give repentance, forgiveness of your sins, to be a prince and savior, but you won't let me in. Instead you delivered me unto the enemy with all your blasphemies. How could you do this to me? Stiff-necked and stuck in your ways, you broke the covenant. You only got a few days before I make my judgment. Oh, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What they do, what they do. I will plead with them face to face till I turn them back to you.
Yo, you thought I wasn't coming back? Imagine that, watch the sky crack when I attack. I held back the winds from the four corners. Now you were gonna watch my battle wax get bloody. No one above me. It pleased them to choose me, to bruise me, but nothing could move me. You refused me like you never knew me. I didn't have to do it when I carried your iniquity, your wickedly witchery. Now you don't remember me. The whole world watched on my name. They lied, denied that I died, so they pierced my side. Now I will return to burn, to unlearn, but the whole world heard, but forsook
everything
my
I do
word.
is for the Lord. If I breathe for Christ. If I die for Christ, no matter the price. Understand it, I present my body as a living sacrifice.
That's right.
Repent, for the kingdom of the Lord is at hand. The coming of Yahweh Shai is nigh. And He prophesied when He was going to be born and died. I hope these cats realize that there ain't much time. First and foremost is Satan holds post. Keep your guards up and close with the armor of the Most High. He's not a man that he should lie. I hate when we teach Jake and they walk on by.
Christ is on His way. Will you be ready for me? Christ is on His way. Will I find faith in Thee? Christ is on His way. I'm coming to end all this confusion. Christ is on His way. Establish eternal righteous ruling. Christ is on His way. Will you be ready for me? Christ is on His way. Or will I find iniquity? Christ is on His way. Christ is on His way. How could you do this to me? Christ is on His way. I'm here to settle the score. Turn up the nations for way. Ain't gonna take this no more. Israel, you better endure. Come on, I'm here to settle the score. Turn up the nations for way. Ain't gonna take this no more. 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 Ain't gonna take this no more.
Yo. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Could have been any place on the planet, but you guys chose to be here tonight. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. Big Ant in the building. Hey, Ant, guess who was in the building, but he left. I guess the intro was too long. Would you want to take a guess? You'll never get it. You'll never get it. I promise you. He was in the back. I gave you a hint. I said he. Think you know? Lady Novo in the building. Wow. Wow. Yes. There you go. Damn, you got it, my man. And that's why you big brother number one. Yeah, he's in the background. I guess the intro is too long for him, so he dips out. Maybe he might come back. Hopefully, Iris won't come back. For those of you who don't know Iris, he was in here from the beginning, kid. Okay, he was here from the beginning, from the get-go. I wouldn't say he's a day one. He left for a little while and disappeared. But he was here. You know what I'm saying? He was here. Thank you, Lady Novo. I'm glad you liked the intro. So, Mama B, what is going on? Everybody in the building, what is going on? Let's run through our hashtags quick, fast. We have 4 hashtags in there. Village. We have no more be the change. It takes a village. Visitation rights are for inmates, not fathers. Okay. We then move down to AAA. Hey, no, we're not talking about the guys that pick you up when you're on the street corner, flat tire, out of gas. No, we're not talking about those guys. AAA, what does it stand for? Acknowledgement, acceptance, and application. Acknowledging that you are the reason why you're in the situation you're in. Right? It's very easy to point the finger at someone else. My man Tommy used to say something all the time. What he would say is, when you realize that you are the problem, you then must become the solution. And it's hard to become the solution. And I don't know if it's subliminally, subconsciously, or if these men and women are aware. They choose to blame everyone else instead of looking in the mirror and saying, I am the reason why I'm here, right? In 99 or 9, I give you 98.6% of the time. It's because of you. Somehow, some way, if you look in the mirror, if you do some self-introspection and look at yourself, you'll see that you are the reason. And again, it's easy to put the blame on someone else. There's no self-correction you have to do. And we're going to get to that. But, there's no work on yourself. You just continue strolling down the yellow brick road as is, when we know in this life that we have, it's about growth. It's about learning. It's about growing. It's about understanding. And it is hard. I'm not speaking from a position of it being easy. It is hard, but I hate using the word but I'm going to use it here. You have to have that mindset to grow, right? So then we move on to acceptance. Now, why acceptance? Well, there's cause and effect, right? You only have the effect because of the cause. So you have to accept the ramifications of the decisions that you made. You robbed that bank, you got caught. Now you got to do the time, right? I was at that Beretta. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Oh, no. Yeah, don't do it. And, today's topics is it's always, you lay down with that woman, brother. You knew what she was before you met her, right? You knew that she was a thought, 304, whatever, for the streets, whatever, names that guys are using today. You knew what she was, and you still slept with her. So she doesn't take all the blame. So the beauty in between acknowledgement and acceptance is growth. Growth. You're easy. A person that has done the crime and now is doing the time can live with the time that they're doing, opposed to a person that is innocent of what they're being accused of and they have to do set time. That's something that won't lay still in their mind's eye. This is something that they will continue to fight in their innocence. But when you've done it, you kind of can, lay in it and say, yeah, I got caught. I didn't plan right. I was ignorant of his act. Right? So you walk out a better person when you acknowledge and accept. And that better person you have become, now you can take that knowledge, you can take that information and apply it to your life. Application. We then move on to the mirror. I was talking about that a little bit before it's time. The mirror is very important. This is why the Lord says to make sure that you surround yourself with men and women that are spiritual, men and women that deal with the truth, men and women that have accepted Christ their Lord and Savior. Why? Because these are the men and women that will pour into you when you fall down. And don't get it twisted. We all fall down. We all break. That's the purpose of growth, right? We all go through it. And a lot of people, hey mama, a lot of people think that, excuse me, that my wife or my husband is the one that can change the trajectory in which I go. And this is true. But it's also the people you have in your corner, your friends, your family, right? Because if I'm at variance with my wife, I'm not trying to hear what she's saying at this point, right? If she's at variance with me, she's not trying to hear me at this point. So she's going to go to her family. She's going to go to her friends. And if her friends don't know what they're talking about, guess what? In this vulnerable state that I could be in, I might take the advice from someone that's never been married. I may take the advice from someone that has not grown. I may take the advice of someone that is not accepting of Christ as their Savior. Now, again, even in that statement, it's still my fault because I've allowed that man or woman to stay in my circle to that point where I can get that advice, which is wrong. So you see how that all circles back? So it is very important, right, that we make sure that the men and women that we surround ourselves with are in alignment with the trajectory and the direction in which we are going, right? Again, we don't all have to think the same, but we all have to accept Christ as our Lord and Savior. We all have to be walking down that road. Scripture says two cannot walk if not be agreed. What does that mean? That means that, and by no way are we these things. If I'm a crackhead and big brother number one is an alcoholic, if there is no crack or alcohol at that party, we are not partying together. Okay? There has to be something that we agree to get us to go together in the same direction. This is what the Lord is talking about. Okay? So either it's going to be righteousness or wickedness. It's really simple. It's not hard. We make it hard because we want things to be the way we want it as man, our ego, right? So then we move on. Yeah, I am in mirror. So self-introspection is so important because before I'm quick to blame someone else for my situation, I'm going to look at myself. Right? So before I go to clear someone else's beam, I'm going to look at my moat. Could be the opposite way around. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. So tonight's going to be a short one. You like the way I threw that in? So yeah, it's very important. Self-introspection, right? Because a lot of us, it's in this world today, it's easy to be a hypocrite. It's real easy, and again, we all fall short. And there's none of us is clean. This is the purpose of Christ. This is the purpose of our Lord and Savior. Without him, we would be in trouble. So, with that being said, we move to the truth is too heavy for the weak. It absolutely is, because the truth is what sets you apart from everyone else. We've all heard the saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? Because everyone wants to be the same. No one sticks out. It's easy to hide in a crowd. It's easy to hide. But when you're a man or woman of truth, you stick out. We saw that with Adam, right? So that with Adam and Eve, they couldn't hide. They stuck out. Couldn't hide. They were different. So, we have to understand that this world will try to beat you down. And they will, if you allow them. It will beat you down. And nothing's going to hit harder than life, right? Man can't, and life is consistent with its beating. So again, it's so important to have the right people in your corner so that they can give you a clear line of sight, right? Line of sight, give you a clear line of sight, which would lead you to the vision of the Lord. Because you have to understand, right, that when you're in that ring fighting and you're getting pummeled and you're getting punched in the face, everybody walks into that ring with a plan. We all do. We all have a plan until that first punch. And depending on your discipline, depending on your faith, depending on what your relationship is how strong you're gonna get back up. Now there are days that are better than others. Absolutely. There are days that are better than others. So it's not about the fall, it's about the get up. But the truth is the thing that we search for. The truth isn't always going to be a beautiful thing. In fact, most of the time it's going to be the opposite, but this is what makes you grow. This is what grows you, as my auntie would say. The truth is going to grow you. It's going to make you a better man. It's going to make you a better woman. It's going to make you a better young adult. Why? Because then you have nothing to hide, right? And we have to grow. That's this journey that we're on. We don't stay stagnant. We don't stay complacent. We continue to grow. We're never static. How about that? We're always in flux. We can always grow. What can I do better? What did I miss? How can I make my armor that I put on in the Lord stronger? Because this world is going to beat you down. The people you surround yourself, if you're not going in the same trajectory, they're going to slowly but surely rip off your armor. And believe me, Satan will take advantage of it. So, again, truth is too heavy for the weak. The weak don't want to hear the truth, right? What do they say to Christ? Prophesying to us smooth things. We don't want to hear that truth. Christ came to offend. Came to offend. Why? Because we're offending. So he came and say, nah, what you're doing is wrong. Stop doing this. But we don't want to. Well, that's your decision. That's your decision to make. But understand there's a consequence that comes with the decisions that we make, right? We just went through it with the AAA. To every action, there's a reaction. Remember that. Don't get surprised when you say something to somebody and they respond. Well, why are you responding that way? Because of what you did. Well, you shouldn't have did that. You can't tell me how to respond. Once you set this motion, once you set this into action, it's out of your hands at this point. Truth is heavy. The truth holds you accountable. The truth holds you responsible. And through it holding you accountable and responsible, you have no other choice but to grow. So we move on to, we need vision, not sight. We need to heavily lean on the vision of the Lord, not the sight of man. The sight of man is askew. The sight of man deals with nothing but pride, jealousy, envy, malice, strife. It doesn't deal with, truth, integrity, honor. This is why cats don't want to deal with the truth. This is why cats want to move how they want to move, because the vision of the Lord first looks within you. Before you get the Lord's house in order, you got to get yours. And a lot of people, especially men, think that means your physical house. It does also mean that, but it means you. It means you. It means your spirit. It means you as a man. That's what it means. It means you as a woman. It means getting yourself, you're asking everybody, and I promise you I won't be long on this one. You're asking everybody to submit. You're asking your woman to submit. You're asking her to do something that you haven't yet done. Have you submitted to Christ? Have you submitted your life? because she is going to submit. Remember, it's a trickle down effect, right? When we read 1 Corinthians chapter 11, what does it say? It says that the man is the image of Christ and the woman is the image of the man. So it trickles down. So, if we're asking her to submit, she has every right to ask, have you submitted? Because I'm not submitting to you, because when we read Ephesians, what does it say? Women, submit unto your husband as if you would be submitting to the Lord in everything. So her question is going to be, have you submitted? And she's going to know. She's going to know if you submitted or not. Well, how will she know, Bolo? Well, let me tell you. How did my man say, Boosie? Well, let me show you, man. She's going to look at your empathy, your sympathy. She's going to look if you're charitable, right? She's going to see these things in you. She's going to see if you're kind, forgiving, truth, loyal, if you're sensitive, not meaning in weak, generous, patient, directional, financial. Are you protecting? Most of all, are you sacrificing? I think when we talk about being a man, we leave that out a lot, right? We leave that out. And she's going to see that. And she's going to be able to say, nah, he hasn't. Talks it. But no. And we're talking about a good woman, right? A woman that's going to take her time. A woman that's going to not rush into things because he's financially secure. He got the bank. He got the bank, but he beats on you. He got the bank, but he disrespects you in the street. It's more than just money, man. This is deeper than just money. And then, to my fellas, to my brothers, when we regulate and make ourselves just a cash cow, well, I'm the one that provide. So if I provide, that means I should be the head. So your position in the home is regulated only because you financially provide. Sometimes we need to be still. A lot of times we need to be still. Forgive me. When the Lord says, be still and hear the whole matter. Let the wisdom of the Lord flow through you. When you regulate yourself to just financial help, the next question from the woman should be, so if you're unable to provide and I am able to provide, does that make me the man? See, I don't hear you guys talk about what makes a man is, one, doing what he has to do when it's hard to do it. Providing, that's a part of it. Nurturing, protecting, not just protecting physically, but protecting spiritually, protecting mentally, protecting emotionally. Right? Like when your wife is going through something, and you're there emotionally to be there for her. You're there. You may not be able to solve the problem that she might be going through, but damn it, what you could do is be there to go through that storm with her. Now, what is that going to provide? Her trust. That's what it provides. See, in this, we have to start looking through the lens of God, not the lens of man. So, when you're going into these conversations, before you go into it, look at your whole jacket. When you're having these conversations with these women and you lead with your wallet, when she just looks at you as a wallet, you get pissed off at her. No, you set the tempo. She's going to follow you. When you waltz, you lead. She's going to follow. See, and through the vision of the Lord and not the sight of man, you learn to be patient. I know when we were young, we did some stupid stuff. I can remember. No, for fact, Aunt and I was talking a little while ago, and we were talking about the stuff that we did. As young men. thinking we had it. You know what I'm saying? Thinking that we knew what it was. And we had no clue at all. And I'm sure every brother in here, Mr. Vaughn, BCDC, all of us have these stories. Even you young ladies have these stories. You thought you just knew. And you realize you knew nothing. That's when growth starts. That's when you're able to start to, your growth starts to happen. When you realize you know nothing. You realize that. That's when you say, okay, he's ready. We all seen Karate Kid. My man didn't even know that he was learning through the waxing on and waxing off. We saw Mystery of Chess Boxing. Cats didn't know that they were learning through playing chess. Why? It's a mental thing. It starts here first. It starts in the head. It starts in the head. There was a guy that asked Bruce Lee, and I say this all the time. Said, Bruce Lee, teach me how to kick. Bruce Lee said, then kick. And a lot of people, they don't understand why he said that, because Bruce Lee can only teach you technique. That's all he can teach you. You got to have that fire in you to want to do it. You got to wake up and just think about kicking. You got to wake up and think about growth. You got to wake up and think about, I want to be better. You got to wake up and say, how can I find my wife? Right? You know what my answer to you would be? Find yourself. That's how you find your wife. Well, what do you mean by that, Bolo? Your wife is an extension of you. So whatever you are is what she will be, because that's what you will attract. I hope that made sense. In layman's terms, for the streets, your vibe attracts your tribe. That's it. So if you take the time to get to know who you are, you take the time to be in the Father, you take the time to be with him, to be in him, right? And allow him to be in all facets of your life, not a few, not a lot. In all facets of your life, you open up that door to understanding. You open up that door to knowing how the Lord treats you. What kind of love he encapsulated you in. What kind of second chances he gave you. What kind of patience he dealt with. What kind of long suffering he suffered with you. What kind of shoulder he was. Because you have to know when to apply certain things, right? We have to understand that you have to know when to be a brother, when to be a listener, right? When to be a stronger. I'm just trying to keep the ERs at the back of the words. It didn't make sense, but understand where I'm going with it. Because sometimes, they may not just want a breakdown. They just may need someone to listen. You have to understand when is that time. The Lord tells you there's a season for everything. And you have a lot of people that are not seasoned gardeners. And they just start throwing things together, and then they wonder, well, how come the plants didn't grow? It wasn't because of the plants, it was because of you. That's why the Lord says you can tell a tree by its fruits. It's you. You're the root. The hell with the branches. The branches are a picture, a symptom of you. These doctors today are no good. Most, not all. They treat symptoms. They don't treat the sickness. You go in there with a cough, like I have today, and they, okay, well, here's something for your cough. Hold on, brother. The cough is supposed to be a sign to what my actual illness is. They don't try to get to know you. I see you, high risk. They don't take their time to get to know you. They just send you in, come in, you're just a money grab. So we need the vision of the Lord, because we need to be omnidirectional, and by ourselves we're not. The sight of man is messed up. And when we're dealing with the vision of the Lord, it just doesn't deal with sight. It deals with the spirit. It deals with listening. It deals with touch. It deals with smell. It deals with all these different things. But what's paramount, it deals with him being in rulership of your life. We then move on to the last, certainly not least. We need to stop being emotional animals and start being spiritual creatures. Now, what does that mean? That means if I'm walking down the street, right, and I got my rebellionaire ones on, and you step on it, me being an emotional animal, I'm going to flip out. You stepped on my J's, blah, 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 blah. Something ensues, and it gets violent really fast. A lot of us lives in our lower two bodies, right? A lot of us live in the physical and emotional. The emotion, what we need to understand is emotions have no context. There's no perspective to emotion. You just are angry. You are sad. You are happy. You are indifferent. You are something. What happens is the spiritual is always connected to the God network. So the mental is always getting real-time information, filtering through millions and millions of thoughts that you go through day in and day out. There's some people you want to beat up. There's some people that you want to ice. There's some people you just want to hug. You're filtering all this information. So here it is, this guy stepped on my rebellionaires, and I'm pissed off. I'm angry. My mental's going to take it and say, okay, Bolo, relax. Let's look at this situation so that we can respond and not react. React, there is no cognitive thought, right? It's a knee jerk. Responding is I have to think about what I'm going to do before I do it. Well, he was about to get hit by a bus. He was standing out off the curb. He jumped on the curb and he jumped on you. It wasn't on purpose. He wasn't trying to hate because you had the rebellionaires and he didn't. It wasn't hating. It was an honest mistake. Now, that doesn't change the fact that I'm upset. But I'm able to deal with it, right? That pissed off and only seeing red changes into an understanding. Now I have a panoramic view opposed to a snapshot. A snapshot is what you get when you're in danger because you don't have that much time to sit here and analyze and just go, let me analyze why this pit bull is coming at me and trying to kill me and eat me. Now, you got to run. So the brain is going to take in certain safety shots to get you to where you need to be. There's a fence. That's going to get me from the dog. But something else might be on the other side. It might be a Rottweiler. We'll deal with that when we get to that point. But when you have the time to sit and really be analytical of it, you give context and perspective to that emotion. We're not animals, man. We're not animals. The Lord gave us dominion over this planet. In the spirit, gave us dominion. So let's move as such. He's our Lord and Savior. Let's move as such. So that being said, here in the village, we believe that the four bodies should be at a perpetual balance or as close to it. Where is my man at?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Yeah. What's going on? What's going on, party people in the place to be? Glad you guys could be here. Let's look at who we giving shout outs to. We gave a few shout outs to people. Let's do it again. Lady Naveau in the building. Mama Beverly in the building. What is going on? Nightbot in the place, just overwatching, making sure y'all don't act up. Because some of y'all be acting up. So leave Nightbot alone. Big brother number one in the building. High Risk One was in the building again. We have who else? We have BC in the building. We have who else? We have Butterfly in the building. We have Von Bryant in the building. All right. Okay. I'll skip my monologue and we'll go into my man, High Risk One. What's the dilly, yo?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm chilling, brother. How's the family?
Everybody good, bro. How you doing? How your family?
I'm alive. The family is good. So, we went.
I hear that.
How you been?
I've been all right, bro. I'm on vacation. It's the end of it now, but yeah, I've been on vacation for the last week.
Nice. Where'd you go?
Nowhere, at home in video games all week. Week.
What particular video game?
Right now, I can't find none good, bro. They don't make games like they used to. I'm trying to go back and play other games that I done played, but it ain't got that same fire, bro. So, but to answer the question, right now I'm playing what is Watch Dog Legion, last one.
Oh, okay. That's the Asian game, right?
No, you talking about damn. You talking about the karate
What?
game, but nah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not a Call of Duty dude?
Yeah, I play that.
Yeah, I love Call of Duty. What system you playing it on? Your game?
The fire, PlayStation
Okay.
all day.
Oh my God, boy. Okay. All
It's
right,
just
all right.
it's just a more robust system, bro.
Absolutely. You know, the Xbox is more for, home entertainment because I got them both. And it's more a home entertainment thing. I can't tell you the last time I played the Xbox. I can't tell you. But my system goes through it, right? But yeah, the PlayStation is definitely the
You talking about the
game.
Xbox,
Yeah,
bro? I'm
one.
telling you, I done since the PlayStation 2. I've had a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2, and they've never gone bad on me. No red eye of death, no nothing. They're just a really robust system.
You see, shots fired already. Damn.
No, I didn't. No, it ain't shots fired when it's the truth.
You, no, that's not you. It's Ant. Ant shooting. He said because
Um,
garbage. The Xbox is garbage.
of course,
Okay.
bro. The first Xbox, the
Yeah.
first one, back in I think it was like 2002, 2005.
Right.
After that, Xbox was trash. The first Max Payne, man, they don't make them like that no more, bro.
Pain game was fine. You know what it is with Xbox?
Man,
It took a different Xbox took a different thought process to it because again, to continue with PlayStation with the games and all that, Xbox wanted to be the central component when it comes to your home theater. And in mine it
mm,
is.
but
You know what I'm saying?
that's where they messed up at because they tried to appease everybody instead of
Yeah,
their base foundation. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation, that's why I never left because they always kept it straight gutter
games.
with they
Yeah,
fan base.
yeah. Ant
You know
said
what I'm
Dream.
saying? Microsoft, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cut you off, but Microsoft, the company, it got too much on its plate. They're trying to buy up too much companies. They're trying to do too much and not focus on the actual system itself. That's why it's trash.
Okay. I could take the Anthony. He agrees with you. He says Dreamcast smoked the Xbox and it was older. Facts.
Yes, it did. You
Yeah,
remember Crazy Taxi and what?
yeah,
Man, don't do it like that no more, bro.
they don't. I had Dreamcast too. Jeremy Alston in the building. I had Dreamcast too. Yeah, I love the Dreamcast. I like that. I like their controller. Their controller. You know, Nintendo, Atari 2600. I had that. Now we're going back. Now we're going into ColecoVision. You probably too young for that. You remember ColecoVision?
Nah, hell
See,
no.
yeah, you too young for
It
that.
sounds vaguely familiar though.
ColecoVision was it, brother. ColecoVision was the joint. Atari 2600, that was the joint too. These was what started them all. You know, I know I'm missing a few of them, but yeah, games, man.
But
When you look at
these games now, they for some reason I don't know. It's like the more high tech the system, the games regress for some reason. It's crazy.
yeah, because at the
Hold
end of
on
the
one
day,
second,
how,
hold on
how many shoot 'em
one
up
second.
games? How many shoot 'em up games can you make? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them are just what Ant says is I had one of those Sega Genesis. Woo! Brought us the Madden greatness. Yes. Mama Beverly's getting into that blast from the past. She said yes, Atari, and spelled it out. You missed the lines. Remember the lines that used to go across? Atari. I remember going into I remember going into um the arcade and we used to play those games, man. Defender. We had Defender, Pac-Man. We had the mail. I forget the name of the mailbox game where you have to throw the newspaper into the mailbox and the dog would chase you or the people would chase you. Um, we had Mario Brothers and the Donkey Kong series. I used to love Donkey Kong, man. Donkey Kong was my joy. There you go. Paperboy. Yes. Paperboy was fire. Paperboy was fire. What was the name of that other game, Ant, where It looked like it was Dungeons and Dragons, right? But you had to think like something would happen, and then it would pause, and then it would ask you which way do you want to go, and depending on the route that you picked, would either get you out of the situation or put you more in hot sauce. I forget the name of that game, but that game right there changed video.
You ain't talking about. You ain't talking about
Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair. That game right there, that changed games. Because most of the time you were looking at pixels when you were dealing with games, right?
Yo.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry for cussing. My bad. I ain't know you can.
Yeah, Dragon's Lair was the game, bro. Because Dragon's Lair took it to actually like cartoonish type thing. Damn, brother. What do you have all these damn games in your house? How do you know all these names, man?
I got a highly controversial statement on gameplay.
You got a highly controversial
thing? Best game ever created, ever made.
What's that?
They're gonna hate me for this one. You ain't gonna believe me. You probably never played it. Skyrim.
Who?
Skyrim.
Yep.
Yes.
I won't say the greatest one ever made, but
nah, bro. Yes, bro. Nah, bro. Nah, greatest game ever made, hands down. Don't nothing even come close to Skyrim.
I don't know, man.
Only thing that come close to Skyrim is Fallout 4, and that's it.
Okay, I played that. Okay.
Bro, Fallout 4 is just Skyrim.
I won't say it's the best game ever.
Bro, Skyrim is just Fallout with guns. I mean, Fallout with medieval armory and stuff.
I understand, man.
Man, bro. All right, so what's your take?
Man, I would have to go. I'm trying to think right now. Don't get me wrong. Skyrim was one of my favorites.
Man, bro, don't nothing capture your imagination like that, dog.
I don't know, man.
And trust me, that wasn't my sauce. When I would have never thought about playing Skyrim, but this guy pestered me every day at my job saying how good it is. So I went and got it, and
Skyrim
my God,
good. Don't get me
wrong. God,
Skyrim is one of the tops. I give you
man,
that.
For
me, it's one of the tops.
Well, for me, that's the best. Don't nothing catch my mind like other game had,
bro. That Red Dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That Red Dead is on par with Red Dead is on par with Skyrim.
Red Dead is fire too.
It is. The thing that sets Red Dead apart for me, seriously, the thing that sets Red Dead, one of the best things they ever did, is when you do that, when you're doing the gunfights and you're doing the draw sequence, and you can set it up and go and
the Deadeye. You talking about the Deadeye?
Yeah, the Deadeye. Yeah, man, it's like, bruh.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. It's immersive.
It's got a full world. That Red Dead. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I play Skyrim. I love Skyrim.
Man, there's nothing like that, bro. There's nothing like Bethesda make the best games for some. They don't fell off for some reason, but they make some good games, bro.
Microsoft. That's why. Microsoft got it. Microsoft bought them, I think.
So they sold though. Like I don't understand that. Like if you you say
that's what's happening a lot. So here's what's happening. So, here's a lot of what's happening. Activision, Bethesda, studios, a lot of those camps, they're selling off for money because a lot of the guys that were in charge of them and everything else, they kind of fell by the wayside. They moved on to do other things. That's why. Did you ever play Last of Us?
Man, yes, I did.
You remember how good the first one was?
Number 2 is better.
I don't think so. I think
play it again. Play it again.
Number 2 sucks.
Yeah, you mad at Abby? Yeah.
No, I don't care about that. The whole storyline.
Bro. How many times did you play it?
Man, I'm telling you. I don't have to
how many times? No, dog. I'm telling you. I felt the same way. I played it out of hand, and I went back and played it, bro. I was like, wow.
Matter of fact, I was talking about this kind
Man,
of stuff. I was talking about this kind of stuff on the live stream yesterday. The lack of continuity in a lot of the things that was great at one time, that you see things start falling off. Like,
yeah, no. Okay, I understand what you're saying. What you're saying, but I think I got an explanation for that. It's not that it fell off. It's you're holding it to a certain standard. Once that goes away, and then you give it a second go around with a clear mind and all right, I'm not comparing this to the first one or whatever. That's when you see the true beauty of it.
But you can't say it's part 2 then.
I played both of them. I played the last.
No, but what I'm saying, but listen to what you just said though. Listen to what you go back and think. Rewind the tape.
They went even harder on the continuity. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. What do you mean?
They did.
What do you mean? Okay, let me explain how the continuity was seamless.
Okay, go for it.
First, I'm gonna try to wrap it up as quick as I can. First game, Joel is a smuggler. His best friend get killed. Now he's stuck with Ellie. He falls in love with Ellie and wants to protect her at all costs. Boom. Second game, he killed the doctor. That's the father of the antagonist in the second game. While not simultaneously not telling Ellie what he did. And gets killed for it. And now only one person knows why they're chasing the other one. Man, that's continuity for your ass, bro.
Is Ant trying to hate on the Last of Us?
No, he's trying to. Not really. He's not, because he admitted it's a good game. But I'm just play it again, bro. It's good, bro. It's so good. Listen, it's so good. They were willing to kill their most beloved character off.
In the
beginning.
In a fashion that was not even right.
Man, you killed my daddy. It's up, nigga. Fuck. Nigga, you killed my daddy. It's up.
In a fashion that didn't even make sense.
Bro, you killed my daddy, bro. That's what I'm saying. So you look, bro. I understand, bro. I love Joe too, bro.
It has nothing to do with it. I'm saying no.
He killed that girl, daddy, bro.
But listen to what I'm saying to you, though. Yes, that's right. Video game conversation. This is barbershop night. That's right. It has been.
It's my night tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. This is my night. I finally got something I can relate to, niggas.
Hey, the conversation is the conversation. I like that's what I'm saying, but I'm going back to the point that you said. I'm going back.
Hold
to
on
the
one
point
second.
That you said
Dana Vo, I promise you, we're gonna be able to link this to God. I promise you. Somehow, some way, it's gonna.
I swear to God, we are. I swear we are.
Well, see, High Risk One already did it.
Break it down.
He already said it earlier. He said that what? He said, when you hold on to the standards and you judge stuff according to the standards, he said you can't do that with this new game. You gotta get rid of that. And then move, and then you can play it again. And it's like, no.
You gotta look at it with
that was the point.
Yep.
It has to have, you can't start something and give it a good standard. One of the things that people, all right, the best game on Xbox is what?
Which one? Which Xbox?
The best game on Xbox is what? Everyone knows it.
Which iteration of Xbox?
It doesn't matter.
So
Xbox been carrying this game for almost a decade. All
right, since you that's easy. That's Halo.
That's right. Think about everything that's been changed within Halo, but what has stayed the same?
The story.
The reason why Halo is so popular and everyone still plays Halo is because they started off with a standard, and for the most part, they've kept to that standard.
And that's exactly what I was saying about PlayStation.
I agree with you.
Boy, you good. Boy, you good. Boy, you good.
I agree with you. PlayStation is awesome. That's what I roll with. Because PlayStation is all. Here's the deal, and it goes back to what you said before. PlayStation is trying to do nothing but put out games. That's all they do. That's all they do is put out games. And the games that they want to put on the games that they want to put on their system are the top games. They will put some garbage games on there. But for the most part, they try to get the things that are the most, that has the best storylines. That's not
true, and that's not true.
For the most part, yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because if you look online in the gaming sector of any platform you use, if you look online, the main gripe is that the stories are so surface level. It sucks.
Now it is. Now it is. I agree with you on that. The
you wasn't talking about modern games.
No. I'm not talking about.
Okay, my bad.
I mean,
I'm
talking about the thing that set PlayStation apart from the beginning was PlayStation introduced these epic games that had these great storylines, that had all of this stuff. The graphics were at each turn were top of the line, right? And it was stuff that people can sink themselves into. I mean, think about where Madden started. If you play Madden, think about where Madden started and what Madden is now. But the concept of Madden has never changed. Now you got Jokers. Now you got Jokers create a character and everything else, and the characters that they have out on the teams on the NFL teams and everything else. They look doggone just like it's like you are out there playing.
Sometimes I be thinking I'm playing real niggas, bro. Like
exactly. But the standard of what they were doing has never changed. I remember when they were block characters, almost like Tecmo. They were just better block characters than Tecmo Bowl, right? When they first started. But now it's like you're sitting out there playing. It's like you're out there playing characters out on the field for the most part. And it's gotten so. The problem and the deal is, it's gotten so crazy that they've got it where some teams were actually using it.
Hey, hold on, fellas. Give me 1 second. My lady got.
Okay.
All right. So let's pivot just a little bit, Big Ant. You know, when we pivot a little bit and we look at it like. They're making this thing, you know, and I was just having this conversation with someone. What's so crazy is it all goes into the internet, right? And how this world of fantasy is better to be in than this world of reality.
That's fact.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be anything you want to be. Anything outside of who you are, you can be that on the internet. You could be that, opposed to working on yourself and being a better version of you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to pivot and to bring it into, because, you know, this is Testimony Friday, baby. You know, it's just crazy. You know, it's just crazy how today, you know, like Harris once said, he said, yeah, man, I'm on vacation. I've been on video games all day. My video game. I've been there all day. Now, you know, from, you know, conversations that we've had with him in the past, we know that he doesn't live in that world, right? He'll have that intellectual conversation with you. And, you know, he'll let you know, this is what it is, you know, but there are people, you know what I'm saying, that's where it stops and starts. It stops and starts there. They don't go, they don't go into, you know, the breakdowns and why is it that they're trying to keep us stimulated in this fantasy world and not, you know, and not integrate this real world out here? You know, people have better lives on the internet than they do in their real life.
I remember when it wasn't like that.
Because of it's because of the vanity of it all. That's why.
You know,
when you're on a specific purpose and everything else, the times like however it's one is talking about, far and few between. Right? They just you start moving and doing certain things and being and doing the things that you ought to be doing. God's called you to do. You don't get a chance to gain as much as you want to. Those days are far in between. And
absolutely.
So it's one thing to have he's on vacation and he had time to get away for a little bit and to actually do it. And kudos to you for being able to do it, man, and props to you and everything else. There are times I wish I could do it. Because I don't
it's not even that, bro. I've been, like I told you, I had the first PlayStation. I've been doing this.
No. I'm talking about you were talking about you were on vacation and you were getting.
Oh yeah. But no,
that's what I was talking about.
To the point where you were saying how some people, you know what I'm saying, this is all they know and they live in that land. Well, I'm from a time where that land was far and in between, just like you said. And
that's what he's acknowledging.
By the grace of God, I was able to fit a trade in there somewhere in between gaming to even get a vacation. You know what I'm saying? This my third or fourth vacation with this company.
That's good.
That's good. The Lord gives you a break, to rejuvenate, because peace of mind is important.
And I needed it.
Peace of mind is very important. I tell people that without peace of mind, what do you have? And sometimes, depending, the Lord knows, you. And sometimes peace of mind can be your PlayStation. Sometimes your peace of mind could be the gun range. Sometimes your peace of mind could be reading a book. Sometimes your peace of mind could just be just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So, sometimes, as men, and we don't really get to have that peace of mind a lot of the times. A lot of the times we're soldiers. A lot of the times we're just moving and we break down. So when the Lord tells you be still, just be still and just acknowledge what's going on around you. Just be still in me. I'm going to give you a chance to rejuvenate. I'm going to give you a chance to decompress. I know you like this and I know you like that. So I'm going to give you that so that you could decompress. So when you get back into, this game of life, you're not frustrated. You're not, you're rejuvenated, to put in another 10 years or to put in whatever it is that you need to put in, So, the good thing in the conversation that we're having right now is the balance. And that's the thing that Ant's talking about. You know what I'm saying? The balance that in our lives that we're missing. A lot of the times we wait for the last minute to get that peace of mind. And at that point, it may just be a little bit too late. You know what I mean? You're at your wit's end at this point. You're not willing to be still. You're not willing to be patient. You're not willing to just leave it alone. At this point, you angry at the planet. So,
Bolo, you heard what you just said, bro?
Talk to me, baby.
That was powerful, bro. And that's what most people don't understand about this life we live. This life we live in, everything has a balance, bro. I'm talking about to the most mundane, minute thing you could possibly think of. Everything has a balance, and people just don't seem to understand that. As soon as I figured that out about the world, I said, if there's up, there's down. If there's cold, there's hot. If there's sickness, there's wellness. If there's wellness, there's sickness. And once you know how to maneuver and cut and weave and duck and dodge through them corners, you'll be all right.
See, but what it took was you being patient and realizing that. What it took was looking at life through the vision of the Lord and not the sight of man. Because the sight of man,
you know what it took.
Now let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Maybe it'll come across to what I'm saying. The sight of man tells you to continue.
No, just what you said earlier. Let me tell you what it took. This is what it took. It took me to be still.
That's the point. You know, that's the point. When you're able to sit there and say, I just need to chill and just look at it from a different perspective.
But
See,
not physically, mentally.
No. Not exactly. That's the point. See, a lot of the times with the sight of man, our job is to continue soldiering on. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that in different versions and different iterations of that same statement. Soldier on. No one says, man, stop, just take a break and rethink about, you know, the strategy that you're using, because it hasn't been working.
They never say, man, bro, do you even got legs to soldier on?
You know, and that's what the Lord tells you. The Lord tells you, sometimes you just got to chill, be still. Let me talk to you. Sometimes just having this conversation with me, and it may not be pertaining to what you're going through at this point, just having that conversation will open your horizon so that you can see things different, so that when you come out of that conversation with the Lord, you can sit there and go, damn, I didn't even know my spirit needed that. Thank you, Father. Now I see things a little bit different. When you just place it up and say, yo, Lord, I'm having issues. I can't seem to, you know, get out of this merry-go-round that I'm on. Every time I get into these relationships, they end the same way. And again, it goes into, big brother, to bring you into the conversation, it goes into what we've been talking about, you know, with the AAA, acknowledgement, acceptance, and application, looking at yourself first before you're quick to put the blame on someone else. You know, it's real easy. But, you know, I think it's the patience of man when you're really tired. You know, when you get to that point where you're like, yo, I'm tired of this, man. You know, you get to that point where you can just be patient enough to sit down and look in the mirror and say, it's me. What you think on that, big bro?
Yeah, I would agree with that, man.
I agree wholeheartedly.
There's something about taking that time off. There's something about that decompression aspects where your body gets to relax. You know, I look at it, you know, even when I look back and even in the scripture, you know, Elijah had just come off Mount Carmel, and he was, you know, had a great victory with one and everything else, and he found out that Jezebel and Ahab were looking to kill him, so he took off on the run. And as he took off on the run, he gets out, basically goes out into the wilderness and everything else, and camps down by this brook, and he basically starts telling he starts suffering depression. That's what it really was. And he tells, you know, he starts crying out to God. He's like, hey, man, just take my life now. I'm done. This is just too much. And everything else. And, you know, I'm the only one that's doing this. I'm the only one that's doing that. Everything else. And God told him, basically, hey, man, go to sleep. Take a nap. And then when he got up, there was some food. And then he ate again. He ate some food. And then he went back to sleep. He woke up again. There was some more food. God provided him some more food. He ate the food again. And then he went to sleep. And then he got up. And he left. And it said that food sustained him for 40 days. Why? Because sometimes we just need to take a nap. Get us something to eat. Get rejuvenated. And then move on.
That's what we need to stop doing.
No. Not when you've been working hard, man. Not when you've been working hard. When you've been working hard.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. God designed this body to survive without food for what is it? A month, and go without water for 7 days. You ain't gonna die if you miss a meal.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand wholeheartedly what you're saying.
You're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying. We're not talking about surviving. We're talking about living.
Yeah, I know.
There's a difference.
Okay, hold on, wait.
A person.
Okay, let me show you that I was listening to what you were saying. So how you know he was feeding Elijah with physical food?
Scripture said it. Had meat and bread for him.
Physically.
Yep.
You got me, partner.
My point is that yes, you can survive. I agree with you. The body can survive.
And I'm not trying to be contentious. Let me just make
I
that
know,
clear
but
right
I'm just saying the body can survive without food for over a month, and a body can survive without water for 7 days. What you said is 100% correct.
Can I explain to you why I said it though?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I can understand now why the US don't push mental health and well-being like they should. Because if they did, bro, exercising, bro, bump losing weight and trying to be fit. Exercise alone for your mental, bro, you'll be surprised what it do. Getting fit is just a byproduct. And I'm telling you from experience, bro, because I've been at it all this year, bro. At the beginning of the year in January, I was 220, bro, going up. Didn't like it. And I don't know how much I weigh right now, but the last time I weighed myself, I was at 188, bro. Just from
That's great.
exercise and not
That's great.
and just from but not even eating. It's sugar, bro.
Yep.
Sugar, bro. Just not eat bread, white bread, and sugar, and just move more and eat less, bro. And I swear, it works, dog. But what it did for my mental is tenfold better than it better what it did for my mental, bro. The health part and the fit part of it, that's just a byproduct. But what it does for your mental is you couldn't even explain it if you tried to.
Now you could, because somehow, some way, the food that you put into your body is going to affect the way you think. And like you just said, you watched what you ate, but you went out there and you moved around.
No, I went in. Yeah, that's just a simple
It's a
breakdown. But
right.
I went,
But that's
but
what
I
I'm
went
saying.
into. Let me tell you how I did it. I went into it with a plan, bro.
Okay.
The first thing I told myself, the first thing you got to tell yourself is, it didn't take me a day or two to eat myself here. I can't expect
Mm,
results in a day or two. That's the first thing.
that's good advice, brother. That's
Hold on.
very good advice.
But no, you gotta put that in your head. So when you think you're not seeing results, bro, you keep going and tell yourself, hey, yeah, I didn't get big like this. And whatever time you trying to stop, just tell you, hey, I didn't get big in that time, and that'll motivate you. Second thing, you gotta have a plan, bro. And this is what I told myself. I said, okay, it takes 21 days to form a habit. And my God, was that 21 days. I said it takes 21 days to form a habit, 3 months to form a lifestyle. And that's how I attacked it. And now it's a lifestyle. Like, I don't even feel right if I don't work out.
So that lifestyle, you've been working out over the vacation too, right?
Of course, bro.
All right.
I
Now,
don't miss it, bro.
no. Listen to what I'm not.
No.
Yeah, it's not a disparaging comment to you.
No, I
Oh,
didn't take it. I'm trying, when I said, bro, I worked out every week this year for 4 days a week, sometimes 5. I don't miss. So I didn't take it disparagingly. I was just saying, I was a little animated about it, but I was just saying I don't miss that.
right.
I
And
don't miss that. And and
my
and to answer your question, yes, even through my vacation, I usually take Fridays off. I did it today.
Now, and here's the thing, though, and this is where I'm getting at. And getting still, you've been chilling and playing video games the week.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference between, and that's all I was trying to get you to see a little bit earlier. That's the difference between.
What's that, sir?
That's the difference between surviving and living.
Full circle.
When we'll get, and that's the kind, and that's why I brought up Elijah. We get into these modes. I know I do personally. I can say it for myself personally. When we get into these modes where we're doing all the time, we got something on our plate all the time. We're always constantly in a possession in a position of movement, right? And then we move so much that slowly but surely we start to burn out. And the burnout is not really a physical burnout. It's more of a mental burnout.
Yep.
And you have so much stuff going on. And there's so many things and so many tasks that you have to accomplish and you have to do. And it's not even something that it could be work related. It could not be work related. It could be just things that you need to have done, right? There are so many things that's going on that, as Bolo kind of says a number of times, we don't take the time to stop and smell the roses, right? We don't take that time to kind of sit back and decompress. It's not that having stuff and tasks to accomplish that there is.
I don't mean to cut you off, but they don't even, not that they even take the time to smell the rose. They don't even take the time to acknowledge roses.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking, and that's what I'm getting at, right? You're so caught up in everything else that has to be done that you don't get to enjoy the things that were done. And that's one of the things that, like I said, I struggle with that sometimes because I know that there's so much that I need to do, and there's so much that I have to. And most men struggle with this. Most men really struggle with this. Mm-hmm. So that when you get that time, and you, as Bolo said a few minutes ago, you get that time when you can decompress and read a book, or play a game, or take a walk, or go to the range, or shoot some ball, or whatever else. It's very relaxing. It's very freeing because that's stuff that you very much so enjoy to do, right? And the world is bent on you not taking care of yourself mentally, but trying to obtain everything physically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what winds up, and that's what throws most men into an early grave. So, but like I said, I applaud you, man. Take that time off, relax yourself, game it till you can't game no more.
And it ain't long. It ain't long. That is like 45 minutes.
That's all right. But that's 40. But that's 45 minutes that you weren't doing last week, right?
What you mean?
When you take with the time off in the game,
bro. Even when I'm working out game, bro. After my workout, that's my thing.
But and I both know. You and I.
But it's a different. He's telling you it's a different.
But yes, it was different. Yes, I will acknowledge that. Yes,
yes, sir.
It was different.
There's a difference when it comes to that.
Difference.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Different thing is a different thought process because that during the week when you're working, that 45 minutes of that's a quick decompression, right? That's a quick, spruce of the water so you can get back in the fight. But when you're on vacation, you got a week. You like, man, I'm taking my socks off, my feet off, and I'm gonna chill. And I'm talking about I'm gonna really decompress and relax every muscle.
I did, bro. I did. Yes, I did.
Nice. Yes,
I
did. All listen, man, as men, we all need to do that. That's a requirement. When you're still in the Lord, and we say this for men because we really don't get to hear that in our lives. You really don't get to hear as men, Duke, take your time. Just relax for a second. You've been running. You know that bag is not going to go. Just put the bag down for a second. Just chill. And you said something, Ant, that was so prolific, man. You said that we have done so much that we don't get the chance to realize what has been done. Like we're so we're whipping and running that we don't get to sit down, just look behind and say, damn, I came far. Let me just sit down and just thank the Lord. And let me just sit down and just, decompress. Because our cells have so much stress in it. Let me just try to figure out a way to release it, and just rejuvenate myself, revitalize my spirit in the Father, and allow Him to just allow me to realize that He is who He says He is. A lot of the times we get so caught up in thinking that we do things that we get so stressed out. This is why the Lord tell you, why are you stressed out about tomorrow, bro? Why are you stressed out?
When it ain't promised.
There you go. Let's think about today. Control the controllables. Control what you can control. Anything else, leave that in my hands. I got you. But that comes from being still. That comes from having a relationship. That comes from letting Him work in your life and seeing it work so that you can sit down and trust Him. That trust is so important. No one trusts anymore, big bro. No one trusts anymore.
And you can't be too toxic, and you can't even be too toxic to where he can't get in.
You said a word, brother. You said a word. You said a word. We are so wrapped up in emotions. And Ant said something that, a lot of the times it breezes by people. And you said this too, that this world has had us so emotional to the point where we can't sit down and just be in the Father, be still. We are so caught up that we don't take the time to mentally, spiritually get ourselves together. Yeah, we'll go to the gym, but we're not going to do what you did, High Risk. Where what you said was something that I think we need to repeat. That you losing the weight, you getting fit is a byproduct of you mentally getting yourself together. Mentally saying, nah, I got to do something different. I'm overweight. It's affecting the way I think.
Let me just throw this in here. I didn't do it with no gym. I did it at the crib.
You see what I'm saying? The mental is so important. The spiritual is so important. That's the driving force. What's the reason on why I'm doing this? That's where the spirit leads you. What's the reason? A lot of these dudes, why do you want a woman? Is it because you're ready? Is it because that you've done the work on you and now, you're saying to the Father, listen, I don't want to be by myself. I want to help me. Or is it that it's just a status thing? Is it that, you're so inadequate in your life, you want to impose what you don't have on someone else? Is that what it is? To make yourself feel better? That you want to rule and have that name or have that position? So a lot of people can do the same things, but have different reasons for doing it. And that reason will be the drive and will be, the thought process of where you are when you're done with that situation. Because we can both do the exercises, right? You're exercising for your spirit. I can just be exercising for my flesh, and I'm still in the same position I was mentally. If you don't change the root of what the issue is.
I understand exactly what you're saying, bro.
If you don't change the root of what your issue is, dealing with the branches does nothing. And that's how and the enemy will make you think you're doing a whole lot. I'm watching, my 600-pound life. Have you guys ever watched that, big bro?
Oh my God.
You might be caught up. You ever watch that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right. You ever watch that, big bro? My 600-pound life?
Lord, no.
Never.
Dog, I seen a clip of a girl yesterday. Dog, let me tell you something, bro. I seen a clip of a girl yesterday. I don't know if she was on my 600-pound life or what, but the clip started off with them saying she been in the bed for 5 years and the only way she could stay clean is her husband. And dog, bro, why she look like an octopus, cuz?
But see,
my boy, why? How do your skin do a ripple effect like that?
Let me tell you, but that goes to show you how awesome the Father is. That your body can get that big and you still be here. Right?
Man.
I'm telling you, if you look at it from that perspective, right?
But who's worse, her or her husband?
Her husband.
Yep. No, she's worse.
No. Hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen, she's been in the bed for 5 years, right? For 5 years. Who's been feeding her?
Her husband.
For 5 years. So the first year she can't get out the bed. So guess what she's going to eat? She's going to eat anything I give her, correct?
I understand.
That's the point. Now
yes,
we understand that problem doesn't get solved until she changes her thought process. I know that's what you
understand. No. That's not. I understand that. But why would you do that to your husband? He didn't sign up. Now, if the apocalypse hit and he can't carry her, everybody gonna drag that nigga.
It's a tandem effect, though. It's a tandem effect because
why would you do that?
Listen, he didn't sign up for you being 600 pounds, but you didn't sign.
Right, but bro, that was.
But hold on. But you didn't sign up to be an enabler.
Okay, damn. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, if I know that my wife can't eat, she can't get up, she's going to eat what I give her.
Damn, I didn't even look at that.
That's what I'm saying. Now, that's why I said.
So okay, I can see why. Okay, okay.
The root problem is her
the husband.
Instead of giving her
okay.
3 dozen
but
donuts.
But damn, bro. But like, when the hell is enough? Like,
but here's the thing. Even in the thought process, do you see what he gave her? Do you see what he gave her? She ordered.
No, I just seen a clip of it. I didn't see the
dogs. She ordered a chicken. A chicken. And he gave it
a full chicken.
Yes.
Like not like a wing or a thigh.
No, brother, a chicken. And when she sent her son to go out shopping, oh my God, you should have seen the things, man. I need hoagies, I need Twinkies, I need this, I need that, I need that, and I need this. Enablers. You can't get up and walk, so you're gonna eat what I give you. You're gonna eat what I give you. Why? Because I love you. Right now, you can't see what I see. You're in the fight. You're in that ring getting your behind beat. And myself and Harris One, we the wingmen. We see why you're getting beat. So because you can't see it, this is what we have to do until you're able to see it. But see, even in their thought process, when you look at the doctor is like, yo, before we even go in there and get that operation, I need to see that you're dedicated. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to lose this amount of weight. Because he could do the operation. But what sense does it make if your thought process, like you said earlier, if you don't change your mindset?
Ain't no saving that lady, bro. Even if she changed, bro, even if she changed her mind, bro, and she lost the goddamn weight, she gonna look like Mrs. Fantastic, bro.
No, but they go for an operation for the skin too after that.
I've never seen nobody get the skin operation, bro.
Oh, you never?
Yeah,
they do it.
They do it.
I've never seen them, bro.
They do it.
Do you remember that? You remember that show, The Greatest Loser?
Yeah.
That's what they used to do. They used to do that. They would get them on those weight loss programs and
I understand that, but that lady is immobile.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like she had tentacles, cuz.
Mm-hmm. Bro, if you look at
there ain't no saving that.
Dogs, if you look at when we get off tonight, if you go over there and you look at success, the successful stories, there's a lot of stories where they weren't successful. But if you look at the successful stories, it will amaze you, brother. These people have lost 5 to 6 people weight. And then they go for the operations. After they lose the weight, they go to the operation. And brother, you'll be surprised at how these men and women look. It will blow.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is how far gone this lady was. She got to regain motor skills. Nigga, she ain't moved.
But you know what they do? This is what he does with them. This is what this doctor does. One, he gives you a psychiatrist because, again, like you said, it's a mental disorder, right? Two, he looks at the determination that you have. So if you're weighing 700 pounds, he says, listen, I need you to weigh 580. I got to get you to weigh 580. If you don't get down to 580, we can't do the operation. Straight up. With that lady that we saw, remember, she didn't want to walk because she was afraid.
She hasn't moved in 5 years.
I understand. And so what she was doing was she was doing the exercise, big bro, on her upper body. So the doctor walked in and said, yo, listen, I need you to walk, bro. I need you to walk. I need you. You haven't walked for 5 years. I need you to get your body. It's like being in space. When you're in space, the reason why they do that exercise is because there's no gravity. Your bones, your muscle deteriorates. So you have to do those exercises to put some type of resistance. So when he said to her, he said, yo, you got to walk.
Them big ass legs with no resistance. I'm sorry, my bad.
I don't care if you take 2 steps, 3 steps. It's the act and the discipline of wanting to get up.
But she hasn't done that. That's my thing.
No, you missed it. I didn't see that late. I didn't see the ending of it, but I got up to the point because I had to go to sleep.
Man, that lady probably died. That's why you said, bro, that lady was gone, cuz. I'm sorry to say it.
Let me finish. It got up to the point where it took about 4 or 5 people to get her off the bed.
Did she start walking again?
I had to go to sleep.
Oh God.
I had to go to sleep. I didn't see what, but she was so heavy, Big Ant, that they had to get her a bed.
Oh my God.
She had to get a bed.
A bed in the living room.
So they put a bed on the bed.
They took her.
She was fused to that one.
They took her to she said that her chest was hurt, so they took her to the hospital, and they had to put her in a bed that just weighs her. And he was like, "Yo, Ma, when you left here, because it's easy to be disciplined when you're surrounded by everybody, right? So what he does is he puts your support system to the test as doctor. So he says, okay, you've been here. She was at, I think, like 630. When she left the hospital, she was at like 580. So he says, now I'm sending you home.
Hey, now hold on, wait. I don't agree with that statement you said.
So then it must be the different people.
No, no. The statement you just said when you said it's easy to stay disciplined when you're around people. That's when it's hard.
Your support system. He tests the support system, because when he puts you through this this life-changing experience, he doesn't just put the person that loses the weight. He gets the family involved too, because the enabler is the family. This chick she hasn't been off the bed for 5 years. So how is she getting food? It's the family. So he brings everyone in and shows them what they're doing and how it's killing them, right? Whether it's a man or a woman, how it's killing this person. So he wants these enablers to see what's being done. So it's not just, he's hitting the situation from different angles, which is a beautiful thing. So he's bringing in the psychiatrist, he's bringing in the nutritionist, he's bringing in the doctors, he's bringing everyone, and he's bringing the family. And at times they will sit with the family. The psychiatrist. Why do you keep doing such and such? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You're hurting her or him more than you're helping. You dig what I'm saying? So what he does is he'll say, okay, so you're at 586 now. Now we're going to send you home. Now I want to see how your support system rallies around you. My man, she said my chest was hurting. She came back. She gained like 50 pounds.
Oh, God.
She was like 640. So Money was like, yo, you lost weight. Stop telling me that you're saying that you're doing it when the weight says something different. You're telling me that you're not eating this. You're telling me you're not eating that, but you're gaining the weight. So you can't lie. The one person you can't lie to is yourself. You can't. Because at the end of the day, you're doing it to you. You're trying to lie to me. You're trying to lie to me, but at the end of the day, we know you're eating it. So that's the thing, because he could do the operation. But what he wants to do is like what Iris once said, you know, and I'm glad you broke it down. The 21 days is, you know, you form habits, in 3 months, you form a lifestyle. That's what he's trying to do. Now, there's some people that there was this one dude in Hawaii, began, and he was supposed to be on the show at one time. And for some reason, it fell through. I think that he wasn't taking them serious or whatever. So he's in Hawaii. So the mother is calling, the wife is calling, saying, yo, Duke, we need y'all to fly him back. He's going to die. And they're like, first of all, we can't charter a plane for him. Duke is too heavy. He has to lose this amount of weight, and then we can. I'm not telling you no, but he has to lose a certain amount of weight.
He got to do the work. He got to do the work.
He has to do this type of work. We can't take him. Duke ended up dying because he didn't want to be disciplined. He wanted just the result. If you just get the result, you're going to wind up being in the same place, and it might be even worse than it was the first time. Because they're getting that gastric bypass. If you continue to eat the way you eat, you don't have that stomach. You blow yourself up, man. That's what you're going to do. So it's definitely a spiritual thing when they say the spirit is willing. When the spirit is willing,
but when they be that big, they be on they second and triple bypass and shit like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
You know, the thing of the matter is, it goes to show you that, you know, addiction doesn't necessarily only have to be drugs. Sickness doesn't only have to be PTSD or depression, even though all of it is all connected, because the woman is depressed. When the psychiatrist asks her, it's like, what happened? I was molested. I was touched. And this goes into the example that we were going into, Big Ant, I believe, the week before last. When you got that leak in your house and you choose to ignore that leak, you know what's going to happen? It's going to filter into every aspect of the home. It's just not going to stay in the damn bedroom. It's going to go everywhere. So if you don't deal with these traumas and these things and these events that have happened to you in your life, it doesn't just stay there. It sneaks into every other part of your life, because this is you. This is your psyche. This is your mental. This is your spirit. If you don't hand it up to the Father, you're going to have an issue. You're going to have a problem. It's going to affect every facet of your life. The same way God can change every facet of your life in rulership is the same way Satan can change it. Same way.
Yeah.
84, what's the dealie, yo?
What's good, family? What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, bro?
84, how you doing, man?
Man, I see y'all building, man. I used to be, you know, I used to be a slave to the cheeseburger deluxe, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I had to do that for y'all. I had to do that for y'all. I love y'all, man. I'm telling you, man, the McDouble used to get me in trouble, baby. I'm telling you. I used to love them. That, you know what I mean? The cookies, man, you know what I'm saying? I used to have this ice cream parlor next to my crib, and that wasn't no good. And they used to make fresh ice cream too. And I used to go there all the time.
See, that's what it is, but that's what it is, brother. It's the sugar, bro. It's not even so much the meat, because let me tell you, bro, I don't eat meat, bro. I've never eaten meat a day in my life. And I was getting big, bro. It's the sugar.
Man, the bagels with the cream cheese, and you know, the big bag of Hawaiian chips, and I mean the family size though.
And the thing about bread, is if you're not working it off, it metabolizes as sugar. Even though you're not eating actual like sweets, alcohol and bread metabolizes as sugar in the blood. So if you're not working it off, it just turns into fat.
Not just bread and that. You got sugar, you got bread, you got potatoes, rice.
Yeah, it's starchy shit.
Everything white.
My bad.
Everything white turns into starch. It turns into sugar.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you stay away from white. because of the process.
And I used to eat cereal too. Cereal's bad for you too.
Yeah, what'd you say, Big Ant?
Oh, I'm sorry, Big Ant.
No, I'm saying it's also it plays down. Your body can't process most people's body can't process the wheat that's in use nowadays as well.
Yeah.
So you have to get the specific types of things that your body can actually process. When you do that, it really doesn't matter what you eat as long as you're active, to what Howard One was saying.
Yes, sir. You ain't never
You're
lied.
active, you can pretty much eat almost anything. But when you're not active, the one thing you don't want to have is anything that will turn into glucose. You don't want it because your body will become insulin resistant. That's where the fat comes in. So that's one jumping point. A person who's super active and I mean, and I'm talking about, work out daily, they're pretty much always on the move, those type of things like that. They can do that. They can eat pretty much almost whatever they want to eat. I'll put it like this. You want to eat what's good. You want to eat whole foods. You don't want to eat, I'm going to work out and then I'm going to knock down a box of donuts. No, that's not going to work. Right. But you want to make sure that you're putting in the right fat into your body, the right carbs into your body, and the right protein into your body. That's what you really want to do. All of the processed foods you need to jump and get away from. All of the different, what they call processed oils. So all your canola oil and your grapeseed oil and all of that kind of stuff. You want to get away from that. You want to stick more to things in regards to stuff like, butter, lard, tallow, olive oil, stuff like that. These quote unquote processed oils, these non-chemically made oils is what you want to stay away from. And then person needs to, one of the other things, if you don't know how to cook, learn, because it's better to cook whole food and eat it. That's why if you look at it, if you look back in the day, there was two things that would happen, right? People made pretty much everything, and then they were consistently active. So the people that lived to be 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, right? They didn't really deal with a lot of those diseases. They grew their own food. The majority of them grew their own food. They might go get their meat from the store. That's a possibility. But most of the point, they cooked everything. They made their own desserts. They made all of these different things. And the deal is, one of the things that was, they literally had a study that was shown on that, that the desserts and stuff that were made back in the day didn't have as much sugar as the things that you would get normally from the store. To go buy a birthday cake out of a store-bought bakery, whatever, you go and get it, right? And get your bakery. It literally had 50 times the sugar as a birthday cake that was made from scratch.
Yeah.
50 times. Not to mention all of the other stuff that's mixed into that. So it all comes down to all of these different things. And if you notice, it's a reason why when you go to the store, what's the most expensive things in the store?
Everything that's natural.
Everything that's natural. Everything that you physically have to cook is the most expensive things in the store. Everything else is cheap. Everything else is cheap. But what people realize, but there's a process to do certain things. People will sit there and they'll talk about, don't eat like lunch meat, stuff like that, right? However, if you were to go and cure your own meat, it's some of the healthiest meat you can eat. It's crazy. but as a different process in doing that manually versus going and buy it in the way that they chemically process.
Talking out of my league.
Your
I
different
wouldn't know
lunch
nothing
meat.
about that.
I see, but that's the deal. It's a lost art. It's the main reason why there's. It used to be there was a butcher shop on every corner. Now, you rarely find one per city. They're all far and in between. There's a reason why, because with the butcher shops, you're getting lots of your meat and stuff that's being cut and everything else. The majority of it is coming straight from a cow that they got hung out in the back. And they're cutting all of these things, and they're cutting the steaks that you want. They're making the sausage and all of this other stuff that you want and everything else. And it's completely different than you going to the store and getting this prepackaged meat. It's a completely different thing. That's why it tastes better. That's why it doesn't taste like the stuff from the store. That's why when you cook it, it still kind of stays the same size when you cook the stuff that you get from the store, and it shrivels up to hardly anything. You don't know about it? Put 2 pieces of bacon side by side. Bacon that was cured the right way versus something you go get from the store. They might go into your skillet or whatever else the same size. One, by the time is all over with, one is going to still be a little bit smaller versus the one that's going to be like a eighth of the size of what you put in there for the most part. Why?
Hey, Bolo.
Yeah, yo.
Hey, Bolo.
Yo.
I got a question for y'all boys. And just to change gears just a little bit. I mean, cut off.
But hold on. Before you go ask your question, I want Ant to finish his thought process because it's important for him to finish. Go ahead, Ant.
No, I was just going to say, everyone needs to go back and start looking at a lot just for your health purposes. A lot of people need to go back and start doing things, learn how to do things in the old way, even how to cook by fire. You need to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to cook over open flame, not by gas, not by electric. Learn how to cook by fire. Learn how to smoke, learn how to cure, learn how to preserve vegetables. Everyone needs to learn how to do that kind of stuff, because there's gonna come a time when you won't. You saw some of it during COVID, when everyone was locked in their houses and supply chains went down and no one could get food and everything else, and people were lined up outside the grocery stores and all this other stuff. There are ways to do certain things. And lots of people have started going back and rehashing and relearning those old ways. Learn the old ways. For those who live in most cities and everything else, it might be worth taking a trip out toward the rural areas, because they have farmers who are selling eggs, meat, vegetables. You won't find them in a farmer's market, but they're selling them off their land. Even milk, goat, cow, but it's different than what you would get in the store. It's more healthy. So just something to think about, because it's gonna come a change. It's gonna come a time that, people are gonna find.
Take what you learn. They can't take what you know.
Yeah, they really can't. They really can't.
No.
So
high risk. What's up, baby?
Sooner than later.
It's on a different subject though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I got to know. All y'all boys, I want y'all input on this. And you from up north, Bolo, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this topic pertains. How do y'all boys feel about this I guess new pop culture, this pause when people talking and they say pause. I don't like that. What do y'all boys think about that?
Um,
My question really is why do I come from a time where people ain't have to dumb themselves down for pop culture. Like if you know I'm not saying nothing gay, bro, why do I have to say that, bro? That's stupid to me. I just want to know how y'all boys feel about
I think because of the culture, because of the culture, because everything has, back then, let's say from the East Coast, right? We had different types of hip hop. You had party hip hop, you had battle rap, you had gangster rap, you had all these types of hip hop, where, if you wanted that, you wanted conscious rap, you go see Public Enemy. You wanted rap that was just talking about partying, you'd go see Nice and Smooth. Or, if you wanted something that was just, egotistical, you'd go see Cool J. Or if you wanted some gangster, you'd go see, Cool G Rap. So it was compartmentalized. So you knew the conversation I was having. Hold on, I'm gonna get to the point. I'm gonna get to the point. So you knew the conversation you was having pertaining to the context of the conversation, pertaining to what we were talking about. Today, everything is blended. Everything is blended. So if Ant and I are talking and we're saying something, I'm saying, yeah, man, it bothered me, man. It got in me. Ant's not gonna say pause because he knows the context of the conversation we having. These young kids are gonna say pause because everything is so mixed match and wishy washy. Everything is just in together. So that's what they do. So that's my answer to it. I know he dropped off, but you brothers can have at it.
Go for it, 84.
He must be away. So, deja vu, back on you.
Man, I'm so sorry. Hey, y'all boys, I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's been a good one. Y'all boys, good night. My lady got here and I'm neglecting him. It's been a good one though. Y'all good night.
All right, my brother. Be good.
All right, have a good one, bro.
All right, so go ahead. Big Ant.
To me, it's just dumbing down the culture. I heard what you said. I mean, when you look at I look at the lyricism that was during that time, right? The high vocabulary that was used in tons of those songs back in the day. You literally had to have a high vocabulary to be able to rap for the most part. The way that they would put things together, it was, you were conveying a message, but ignorance and stupidity and just overall just dumbness was not glorified, man. It just wasn't. It wasn't glorified. You could literally sit there and have a conversation, a political conversation. You could have a spiritual conversation. You could have, whatever kind of conversation you wanted, culture conversation on the culture, whatever you wanted to have, and you might even disagree. You might have these conversations, and there might be disagreements and everything else. But I swear it wasn't like it's like you were talking to someone that ate paint or sucked on paste in the back of the corner of the classroom, right? Nowadays, I look at the music, I look at the songs, I look at everything else, and it just literally, it is so lowest common denominator. It is so just bad, man. It is just so horrible. Maybe that's old man syndrome. I don't know. But the fact that you came up with something called mumble rap not too long ago. Now you got something called drill music. And now you got other things coming in. This one stupid song that came out, something called Pound Town. It is like lowest freaking common denominator. Always dealing with it. And it's just like ridiculous, man. It is the worst stuff going. It is the worst things that are happening right now. And it's playing to the it bled into the culture, and it's everything is, it's almost, when you really look at it, it's almost, it's not, I won't even say it's almost, it's bad. I mean, it's flat out witchcraft and demonism is what it is, because everything's a chant. Everything, all of the music is now like almost like all of it's a chant. All of it's just repeating these, almost like repeating mantras over and over and over and over and over again. And some of the stuff that's being said is just flat out evil in no way, shape, in any shape or form. And it's just like, it is the ultimate epitome of literally preparing a culture for enslavement. Preparing people for enslavement. That's what it's like. It's the gear. And I shake my head and I pray for these people and I talk against it and I speak out on it. Anytime I have a spot or a platform to do it, because it is exactly what it is. Because no matter what you can see, when you look at it, that in many ways you had slaves that were, killing themselves almost, because it was forbidden to read and write for those who were enslaved. It was forbidden to read and write, but they did it anyway because they knew that they had to do this, to the point where now reading and writing are shunned. Reading and writing are just boop, 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 boop. Or the average person, this is not a race thing. The average person couldn't tell you what's in the Constitution. The backbone of your society that you could literally speak on in regards to, what would get you in and out of trouble. That literally would show you the rights that are that have been documented and is afforded to you. The majority of people can't tell you what's in the Constitution. And that's a shame. And like I said, it's a preparation for enslavement on a massive, massive level.
Music is the only thing that the music is the only thing that penetrates your soul without you giving permission to it. You know what I'm saying? So he's 100%. Music, again, we play different types of music to put us in a different thought process. So that should tell you there. You know what I'm saying? When you try to get, I do. When you try, when you try to set the motion to be sexy ant, you playing Luther Vandross. You putting that type of music on to set the ambiance. So as soon as wifey walks in, it's already understood what it's already understood what you pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be, let's take the music out. Let's say Aunt put some candles around the place. Wifey might walk in and think, what are we doing, a seance? But when you hear boom, 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 a chair, she gonna automatically understand what it is.
See.
There is no, let me figure this out. You understand? So music, it puts you, and what understand, it speaks to your soul. It speaks to your spirit. So when they say music calms the savage beast, understand the point of what music is. Understand why the Lord made music. Understand that. It penetrates to your soul. It speaks to your soul. When you hear the old school gospel singers, the choirs, oh my God, does it put chills in you? You can feel this, you can feel it. But when you hear the gospel now, you're like, it doesn't sound too much from 50. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So you're absolutely 100%.
You sit there and go like, meh.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you're 100%. ALR, what is going on, sir?
Here and now. Ooh, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me well?
We got you, bro.
Are you back? Are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, how was the trip, man?
Oh, it was wonderful. Well, I tell you the truth, I didn't want to come back. I did not want to get on that plane.
I believe you, brother. I believe you.
I didn't want to get on that plane or nothing.
Right.
And I felt like I asked my father, why did you move to New York? You could have stayed out here and had us out here. But I love New York, so hey. But you could have moved us back, though. But it was a nice trip. It was a nice trip.
That's awesome.
Going back to what Ant said about Pound Town, I seen that video and it's like a horror show. It's like, really? What are you thinking about? I mean, my God, everything just explicit and there's no room for imagination or nothing. You don't need to imagine, just it's all out there. I was like,
what video is this? What video is this?
Pound Town.
Yeah, I didn't see the video. I just heard the song.
Oh, the worst.
Somebody was telling me about it, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And they were like, "You gotta. I'll send you the link. You gotta check it out. This is
it's called Farm Town.
Pound Town.
Oh, Pound Town.
Yes.
It sounds crazy.
It is. It's worse than you think.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't listen to it.
Yeah,
don't listen to it.
The chat, please, chat. Don't listen to it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it.
Don't give it any views. Don't give it any listen. Don't no research nothing. Just burn that tape. Burn the footage. Burn
the phone.
Burn the phone. Yeah, the whole nine. No.
One thing you mentioned earlier about eating meat. I remember my parents used to travel to Manhattan, and there was a butcher shop my parents used to go to, and they basically buy a whole side. Now this is going back in the 70s. Buy a whole side of beef and have it all cut up. Some steak, some this, some that. And they used to get the fresh bacon and pork chops and all that. And that food was really, really good. Oh, it made me a steak lover. So I'm like, wow.
Over where I'm at right now, you can do that. There are what you would do is you would tell them how much you want to buy.
Right.
And there's two ways of doing it. You can actually, one of the ways you can do it, they do it via co-op. And what you would do is you would pay so much a month, pay the farmer so much a month for the cow. And you say how much you want to buy. You want to buy half a cow, you want to buy a quarter cow, or whatever. Or you can buy a whole thing. And but you say you want to buy a quarter. Well, what you'll do is you'll do this co-op and you will go in with 3 other people who also wanted to buy a quarter. And you can tell them you want the full quarter or the back quarter. It's just up to you what you want to have.
Exactly.
And that's what they do. You pay so much a month to them, and then they basically because it's for the care and upkeep of the cow. And then when it's time to butcher the cow, all you do is they'll call you and tell you, hey, we're gonna. Because what they normally do is when they get ready to butcher the cow, they'll kill it first, strip it, and then they will hang it. Hang the meat for anywhere from 15 to 30 days, I think it is. It hangs initially. And then what you can do is you can tell them what you want. So depends on what the person, if you want liver also with it, they'll set liver aside for you. If you want oxtails, they will set some of that aside for you. If you want the heart, they will set the heart aside for you, right? The organ meat stuff, they will set those things aside for you, but they will also cut up, kind of like you were saying. They will cut up, they will give you so many roasts and so many steaks and so many different, different things. You just tell them what you want, and then the rest of it, they'll just make it into ground beef.
Yep.
And give you packages of ground beef to go with it.
Yep.
So, and that's done with just the trimmings of the from when they butcher out the steaks and everything else, and that's just the trimmings that you come up with. And they grind it all up, and they'll either give it to you as sausage, or they'll give it to you as ground beef, or they'll cut it up and make stew meat out of it, or chili meat out of it, or whatever the case may be. And so you're good to go. And it's the average cost of it is really good meat if you're getting it from the right places. But the average cost is probably, I would say, over my end, is probably about $1 more a pound than what you would find in the stores, something like that.
I remember. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, back in the 70s, it was much cheaper. So I remember walking through there, with my parents, and they would pick out what they want. And it was like in the movie Rocky, him boxing against the side of beef and just hitting the cow. And that's where they were, hanging on the hooks, and they would pick out and they would cut. Then he would tell them, okay, a certain amount of this, certain amount of that. And then the rest would make hamburger. And I see him take the bone, the meat, everything, just pass it through the grinder, and you see it just come out on the other side. I remember watching all this stuff. It was interesting. It was really interesting.
Yeah, I remember the same thing growing up, because during that time, kind of like you're saying, you would have the separate butcher shops, and then you would have the butcher shops that were inside of the grocery store, which still did butchering. They would have a half a cow in there, or maybe a full, and it would be in the back, hanging in that cooler area, and they would roll that sucker out, and had that big bandsaw going, and cut everything all up, and what kind of steak you want. You want your T-bones, you want your porterhouses, you want your ribeyes, you want whatever you want, filet, and they'll get in there and they'll cut it up. And after they cut it up, they will package it and give it to you across the counter. They don't even do that anymore.
There's a very few. There's one in the New York City area called Stu Leonard's where they do that. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, they'll just have it in the back, and they'll cut up the pieces. If they don't got what you want, they have to order it.
Yeah,
because we deliver. Company I work for, we deliver for BJ's Wholesale Club, and we deliver their meat, so it's all packaged up and everything. So if you want, like, let's say, what's that, tomahawk, or what's that?
Yeah,
the big
steak. Yeah.
What? Yeah, they may have to order that for you, so it can be brought in, and they'll cut it up for you, whatever way you want. But there's only a few stores that really do go back to the old ways of cutting it up. When we had filet mignon cut up and stuff. But I miss those days.
Yeah, it's something about it, man. I got into it was so funny, because I got into when we started doing all that stuff, I got into butchering a while back, and it's actually fun. When you understand what you're cutting and everything is actually pretty fun. So all of the stuff that I was talking about with the curing meats and stuff like that, that's fun too, right? And it tastes way better than the stuff that you get out of the store. It tastes way better.
Well, my thing is now is that everything is so commercialized and in and out real quick. I remember drinking milk as a child, and then the top of the label says shake well. Now you don't see that no more. Same thing with orange juice and all that, and because they add chemicals just to keep everything together. It's like if I was to go to like a farm and drink milk straight out of a cow, I think I get sick.
No, you won't actually.
No, but what I'm saying, I'm not used to it.
No, I know, but you won't though. That's I can tell you that for a fact. You won't. You will actually feel better. I kid you not.
Okay.
There was a farm that we were getting milk from for a while, and the people their farm moved, and it was too far away for us, and so we found another spot, but I haven't started dealing with them yet. But no, what you're talking about is what's called raw milk. And what raw milk is, it's like you really don't, if you go to like a grocery, if you go to like one of those natural grocery stores or organic grocery stores or something like that, you might see that milk that you're talking about, and it'll be labeled as low temp pasteurized because they can't sell raw milk in stores.
Right.
But yeah, the stuff that they got into, when you really look at it, a lot of people have problems digesting milk right now. And they think, well, you hear people say, well, milk is bad, milk is bad, milk is bad, it's not good for you, and all this other stuff. And the fact of the matter is that the stuff that's in the stores is bad. Because no matter if it says organic on it, no matter if it says, whatever it says on it, it's not good because it's not really milk. That's the problem. It's not milk anymore.
Man, once they pull it from the cow, they got a strip of all impurities, a strip of other. So there's basically nothing. Then they got to add this and that to it just to make it like regular milk again.
Yeah, because real milk is not homogenized.
Right.
And so when that milk comes in on those tankers to those those dairy plants or whatever else, it's like you said, the first thing they do is that they boil it to death to kill any quote unquote bacteria that's in there. But that's supposed to be bad. It would be E. coli or whatever else. The only problem is that they kill everything that's good. And then it also winds up leaching a lot of the not only good bacteria, but your minerals and your nutrients that would be good for your health. It goes right out the window. And so they have to turn around, and you'll see them add like stuff like whey powder to it. You look on certain things, you'll see where it has casein in it. And they'll put in all of these different things. Like sometimes they'll put in stuff like garum gum, and then they put a bunch of sugar into it to mimic the taste of milk. And then they will blend all of that together. And in blending it all together, that's when you kind of get and they do it at very high heat. And that's when you get your quote unquote homogenized milk. That's why it doesn't separate. But real milk will separate because you're separating. It separates because what you have is, you go back to those old quote unquote nursery rhymes, right? You have the whey, which is the liquid portion, and then you have the cream which sits on top of it.
Yeah.
And to get it to look like what you would normally see homogenized milk as, you would take it and you would shake it up, and you shake it up to basically have everything incorporated, and then it looks just like the milk you would get out of the store. The deal with raw milk is that with the raw milk, it's basically, and people think that it's unsafe, but they have to go through stringent like FDA and county and state people are always out there at those farms that are selling the milk products, and they can't sell it. Some of them are not allowed to sell from their farm, but you can kind of do like I was talking about earlier when you were getting the meat. You can do co-op, and you can go pick up, depending on how many cows they have, and you're paying for the upkeep of the cows. So you have a stake in the cows. So you can go and you can buy the cows, or buy an ownership in the cows, which will give you so much milk a month, or whatever dairy products that they have that you can buy, and you get so much free, and you can buy extra. And then you have the others that, depending on what state you're in, you can actually go to the farm and buy, however much milk you want, period. You just can't take it over state lines. So it's against the law to take it over state lines. But yeah, you can go and buy in your area, you can go and buy as much milk as you want. And I can tell you right now, that is some of the best milk running. It just is. And I've known people that have had, that were lactose intolerant, that were supposedly allergic to dairy. They've drunk the raw milk and had no problem. Literally had no problem. They couldn't even believe it. But it's the vitamins that's in it, the minerals that's in it, and the bacteria that's in it. It is just free flowing.
Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I was told that we shouldn't be drinking milk. The reason being is that we're the only kind of mammals that still feed off of the mother's milk.
You don't want to drink milk from the store. That's what you don't want to drink. But if you're drinking raw milk, you're fine.
Okay.
Matter of fact, raw milk, you see people drink goat milk all the time. You hear people talk about, I don't drink cow milk, but I drink goat milk. And we drink goat milk because of this, that, and the third, right? Raw cow's milk and goat milk are the same. They have that same nutrient, dense nutrient profile, with the same as each other. The problem is that with goat milk doesn't go through a lot of the same quote unquote requirements and all this other stuff that you get from cow's milk.
Okay.
But it's one of the if you use, I put it like this, and I'll tell you just how good it is. If you work out and you do shakes, smoothies, whatever else, and you use protein powder to get your protein in,
mm-hmm.
So you normally would take that protein powder, you would mix it up with water, or you would mix it up with water, or you'll mix it up with a juice, or you'll mix it with however you do your protein powder when you're making your smoothies and stuff like that. You will literally lose more weight if you went and used raw milk versus the protein powder. Fact. You will cut weight faster. You will burn fat faster, because that's basically is literally, it is liquid fuel. I kid you not. There are more, in many ways, there's more vitamin and minerals in raw milk than it is in most steaks. Yeah, it's crazy. So technically, people are right when they say you don't want to drink milk, because the majority of milk that you get from the store is garbage. You don't want to drink that, right? The only thing you would want to drink coming out of a store right now that's milk related, cow milk related, it would have to be something that is non-homogenized and low temp pasteurized. That would be the only thing that you would probably want to drink. But that's kind of up in the air, because with the low temp pasteurization, it doesn't kill off all of the good bacteria, and it doesn't go through that whole process that your normal store-bought milk would go through. There's a reason why it's one of the cheapest things. It's one of the. It's so funny because it's one of the cheapest things technically you can buy at the store to drink, per fluid ounce. But it also is one of the things that will move you closer to a diabetic profile than anything else you could drink. It is on par with soda in some cases, depending on the milk that you drink.
You got me thinking, or at least remembering. Now, I love my wife, 29 years. I'm waiting for 29 more. But when she was nursing and I'm watching her and I see the milk, I ain't want no part of that. I'm like, ugh. But then I started thinking later on, you don't want nothing from a human being, but you're taking milk from an animal. So I started thinking about that. And I was like, but still, it's like, oh, go ahead, son. You drink it up. You know. But,
most, and this is the funny part too. Americans overall, Americans will breastfeed their children the least amount of time.
I heard they grow up with problems if they don't.
Exactly.
Yep. They grow up
with more. They will put. They are quick to put them on formula, and they're quick to put them on formula, and all of these other ancillary things. But the majority of the world, but they are most people, most Americans breastfeed. Most American women will breastfeed their children between 6 to 12 months. In the world, on average, in the world, it's like 2 to 3 years for the rest of the world.
And I get it. No, I'm saying I get it that some women, and my wife was like that. I mean, after a while, your breast becomes sore and they hurt. You bump into something, you're like, hey, you know. It's the most healthiest thing for a child. She used to plump it and all that.
Yep.
You know.
Hey, I know. I had the same thing with mine, and that's the whole deal. That's the whole. I guess you could say that's the whole trade-off portion of it all. You know, it's a culture thing. A lot of it is a culture thing, but it's just odd though. One of the things that's why one of the things that I laughed about was that they were saying back during COVID, and if you remember, they had this shortage on formula, and all of a sudden you couldn't find any formula anywhere.
Yes,
and you had people that got out there and they were like, so you have no formula. Technically, you really don't need it anyway. All you really need to do is, and they were telling people, go get a can of evaporated milk.
There you go.
Half it with water.
Yeah.
Shake it up and feed it to the child, because it had as much nutrients as pretty much that you would have got out of the can of formula, and the price was way cheaper. And so what did they start doing? Start raising the price on evaporated milk.
Yep. Yeah. and I think they used to add the powdered rice or something to it.
Yeah, you could add powdered rice to it. You could add that was another thing you could do. That was another thing.
And also to keep the child fed, because you try to thicken it up, so it's like their belly is full. You add that powder to it, and that just let them sleep through the night, and you're like, oh, okay. So I remember that. I remember we tried that.
When you're on sleep deprivation mode, you tried anything after a while.
Yeah.
You tried anything after a while.
Yeah.
But I just find it. I have always found it odd that they're quick to point out what you should not have and make it the hardest thing for you to get. but the things that are not good for you is readily accessible.
That's true.
So it should kind of give everybody pause, right? It should give everybody pause about this whole thing. I remember I was watching one of Tommy shows a long time ago. He made a statement, and at the time it didn't really just mess with me. You know, it didn't really. I didn't think twice about it. You know, but he said something, and come to find out, it's actually true. But he said that the youngest that a girl becomes a mother is where her mental development kind of stops, right? It's not that she can't develop anymore per se, but it's like it's almost like that's where it kind of gets locked in. So, for example, if everything she did was very kid-like and then became sexually active and wound up having a child, then from that point on, a lot of things that she will do will still be kid-like. And it never made sense to me. You know, I never really gave it much thought. It just so happened that I was in the grocery store one day. And you always know when it's the 1st and the 15th, you know what I'm saying? And but saw what people were, you know, we got our quote unquote food stamps, and you look at what they were putting in to their shopping carts. And the stuff that they put into their shopping carts was nothing that, for example, my mom would have ever got us, except in very small amounts, right? But it was like a kid went shopping. Thing full of sodas, things full of popsicles and ice cream and just everything under the sun, cake and candy and, you know, box mac and cheese and, you know, bags of chicken nuggets and all of these other different things, and, you know, store-bought pizzas and everything else. And it's like really? It's like, that's what you're getting? It's like, really?
And it
was like a big kid went shopping.
Yeah. And I see that on the 1st of the month, they're doing that. Excuse me, turn my alarm off.
No worries.
Okay. That's my wake-up call to get up, to go to work. I'm off today.
That's a good thing.
Oh, yes and no. It's a good thing to be off, but the reason why I'm off, because I have COVID. I tested positive, Thursday.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You've got to quarantine.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm quarantined. So.
Sorry to hear that you got it.
Well, thank you. The first day was kind of rough. Was that Wednesday? Was it? I forget the day. I think it was. The Thursday was rough, and then Friday I went to the doctor, and that's when they diagnosed me. And okay, you stay away from this. Go. I was like, okay. No, it was Thursday. That's right. Yeah, because the job called me. We have an app that says, you know, if you need to take time off, you send it through the app. So I did that. Then I get a call around 6 a.m. Hey, are you coming in? No. Why aren't you coming in? You're supposed to be in. I said I put out that I was sick. Oh, you're supposed to call us. And I'm like, well, why am I supposed to call when you got an app for that? You know.
Got an app for that.
You got an app for that.
Nice.
So I can't be responsible for your lack of communication.
Hey.
So tell me what you want me to do. You want me to call you? Then I don't use the app. And, you know, what do you want me to do? I got to do both? What do you want me to do? Anyway, so they're like, okay. Then I had to call HR on Friday, say, hey, I'll be out I'm being quarantined. So she said, all right, don't worry. I'll take care of it. So, right.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm home. I got and I thank God for it. because I was thinking of taking some time off because there's some projects I want to do around the house. So this makes it well enough if I have the strength to do it. And slowly, I'm gaining strength. This is actually the second time I caught COVID. So, but I thank God so far, so good. Lord bless me because I didn't think when the first COVID first came out, like kind of nervous about it. If I get it, I don't. The medical issues that I have, I might not survive it. But I thank God. I'm 1-2 punch, and I'm still here. So that's a blessing for me. For anybody,
At least your body had a chance to build up some immunity to it.
Yes,
from the first time. So
yes,
yeah, that's good. That's good.
The first time actually, and they say it doesn't. My kids got sick. And then the wife got sick. So I said, uh-oh. And they had their first shot of Moderna or something. So I said, well, let me go get my shot. It's coming around. So I got my shot, and the nurse was at Walmart. The lady tells me, well, you're going to have pain in my arm, which I didn't feel, and you may have fever. Okay, fine. And then this was a Saturday, and then by Monday, boom, I have a fever. Okay, well, that's what they told me. So it's been 5 days with a fever. Then the next week, I had this horrible chest pain with cough, a deep kind of cough. So let me go get tested. So they said, yep, you got COVID. I'm like, what do you mean I got COVID? I just took the shot. What do you mean I got COVID? What? And I'm thinking the shot gave me COVID. They're like, no, not the shot. The shot wouldn't do that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. But so far this week, it doesn't feel the same because the first week I didn't have fever like I did. I have maybe a little bit of a temperature. I don't feel like I got a temperature now. Just a little bit of weakness. That's about it. Go up the stairs. Going up and down the stairs kind of like drains me out. At my age is going to drain me out anyways. But it's worse with this one. So, it's worse with this one. But Lord bless me. I didn't expect it this way, Lord, but I thank you. I expect to get sick, but I thank you.
Thanks for the time off.
Thank you for the time off. So I don't have to go until next Friday. So I'm good. I'm grateful about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Going back to the meat, I remember hearing. I think my father said, and somebody else kind of confirmed it. So. And it goes with the chicken and everything. Like nowadays, I mean, this started maybe 15, 20, maybe even longer than that, 30, 40 years ago. But back in the day, they just have the chickens eat the grain and the cows eat the grass. But then let's say if the cow takes 10 years from birth to be full grown to be slaughtered, that's too long. So they would pump it with chemicals or enrich the grass so they can get blown up so quick. So in 5 years they could put it to slaughter. Same thing with the chickens. So then we wonder why we're so heavy and overweight because we're eating the stuff that makes them swell up, and then we swell it up.
Yeah. So you had with the cows, it's a little bit different than the chickens, but it's kind of on the same path. The chickens, they inject with a bunch of, it's a bunch of modified feed, and it's a bunch of hormones that they give the chickens, and that's how they develop so fast. The average chicken, if you leave a chicken to grow on its own, it will take a chicken a little bit over a year to reach full maturity. Right? It'll fall under the category of what they used to call. You probably go into the stores, if you remember back in the day, they would call it the young chickens. Right? You had the young chickens, then you had hens. Right? And so
Cornish hens, right?
No, not the Cornish hens. It would just be called a hen.
Okay.
Which basically they were the older chickens. Right.
Okay.
So normally the hens would be the ones that would normally be they were really old chickens, because what happened is back in the day, chickens were for eggs.
Right.
And then after the chicken stopped laying eggs, the chicken became the food. And so they would, and head goes off, chicken runs around, chicken gets plucked, chicken gets put in pot and gets either fried or stewed or whatever the case may be. That's one of the reasons, if you notice how, it's just the little things that you remember from back in the day. But you know how now you'll have people and they'll do the whole, say they're going to fry chicken, right? One of the things they do is they'll, season up the chicken and put it in buttermilk, right?
Yes.
You really don't have to do that nowadays with the chickens in the store. You don't have to do it. But that's an old thing. That's an old thing that used to be done for those quote unquote hen chickens. The hen chickens were tough birds. They were on the other side of life. So one of the things people would do is that when the chicken stopped laying eggs, that's normally after about 2 to 3 years, they would nix them and then, and pluck them and cut them all up. And one of the things they would do is they would put them season them up, put them in buttermilk so that they can tenderize, the bird can get tenderized. And so you didn't have this hard, tough meat to chew. It'd be very tender. And so then what you would do is you could then take it and you could then put it in a pot and stew it, or make some, chicken broth out of it, or fry you some chicken or whatever else. That's where the whole buttermilk thing came from. But like I said, nowadays you really don't have to do that. But the young chickens were the ones, sometimes they would kill them. Other times they would just let them be there for, laying eggs, right? And so, but to your point, it used to be, they would throw some corn out to them, and for the majority of the time, they would throw what would be the equivalent of compost out there. So things that were scraps from the house, lettuce tops and cabbage pieces and carrot tops and, pieces of tomato and eggshells and all this other stuff they would throw out into the yard, and the chickens would eat it. The chickens would go pick it up, and then they would get their bugs and everything else and pick up and get worms and get bugs and all of those things. And that's what the chickens normally ate. They would give chicken corn or feed. Normally they gave them that in the wintertime or in the late fall, early wintertime, because there would be a lack of things like bugs and stuff they could eat. But that's what they normally did. And so nowadays, that's not how it happens. Now they got them in these big, huge covered pens, and there's like thousands of chickens, and those things stink. I've passed by a couple of them. They stink. And you can smell them like at least half a mile away. Especially if they got a lot of them, you can probably smell them a mile away. But they're all in this one little area, all these barn setups, basically. And pretty much all of the major chicken suppliers get their chickens from the same people overall. And so normally what would normally take 2 to 3 years to get a chicken, now they pump them up full of stuff and they can have a chicken out to you in less than 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing healthy about it. Now, cows is a little bit different, because cows, because of some things that happened some time ago, they don't really give cows hormones anymore. What they will give cows still is antibiotics.
Yes.
Antibiotics is the problem with the cows. The other thing that they do is they feed cows now. Cows will eat grass, but they supplement that grass with a lot of corn. Cows cannot digest corn. Anytime you'll see people label, corn-fed beef, this and this and this. Look at the marbling on this corn-fed beef and everything else. Well, the fact of the matter is the reason why they're giving the cows antibiotics is because the cows technically can't process corn. And because they can't process corn, they wind up getting these stomach diseases and everything. And so, but the corn fattens them up. That's the other thing. The corn will fatten the cow up and allow it to reach its weight faster. So, depending on what type of cow you have, be it Brahma or Angus or Red Bull, Black Bull, Black Angus, Red Angus, excuse me. There was another, I forgot what the other one is, but Longhorn, whatever the cow is, right? Depending on what the cow is, determines how long it takes for them to reach their full weight. On average, no matter what they tried to do it with hormones and they had to get that taken care of because it caused too many problems, the average cow is ready within a year. The average cow. Sometimes you can get it. I think what they said is like 10 to 12 months is a cow's ready for slaughter. Now you'll catch the people who will feed their cows grass only. So you have the grass-fed meats and stuff like that.
They call organic, right?
Yeah, most of the time there'll be the more organic meats,
the more expensive
grass-fed, grass-finished. The problem is that a lot of them are feeding them the same grass. So a lot of them are eating Bermuda and Johnson grass. I only know about this because I'm actually raising cows, or in the process of raising cows. But they feed them Johnson grass. But there's other grass you can actually get that will actually fatten up your cows, and make them give you almost the same finish as you would a corn-fed cow. But a cow that's raised on nothing but grass takes longer. So instead of taking a year to finish, they take about 2 to 3. And so that's why they're more expensive. That's why the meat is more expensive. It's better for you.
Yeah.
But it's more expensive because it takes longer to take care of the cows to get them up to the right age. So you're paying for quality is what you're paying for the most part.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the quote unquote the new thing that's been out now, which is the Wagyu beef. And those are hybrid mix of the Japanese A5 Wagyu beef cows, and I forgot exactly what they're called, but they've been crossbred with, like, a lot of it has been crossbred with like the Angus cows, Black Angus. And so some of them are purebred that's just been brought over to the States, but a good portion of it now is crossbred. So basically they kind of gotten the meatiness. They got the best of both worlds when they do it to a certain degree, because now you got the meatiness of what you would get from Black Angus or Red Angus meat. And then you have the marbling that you would get from the Japanese Wagyu beef. So it's kind of they call it Wagyu, but it's technically not pure Wagyu beef. They normally kind of set that up aside and call it if you really want the full-blown Wagyu beef, it'll be labeled as A5 Japanese Wagyu beef. It's very expensive. Wagyu is expensive, but it's not as expensive as that A5 stuff. That A5 stuff is very good, but it is off the charts expensive. So that's kind of normally how that plays. And so it's like, yeah, my advice is, like I said, my advice to anyone right now is to, if you're looking to really get meat, get it, look around, see if there's any good quality butcher shops in your area, or find a store. And I'm not talking about Whole Foods, but find a good organic store, natural food store, and go there, or check some of your farmers markets, because sometimes some of the farmers will come in and sell meat and stuff like that. But be it chicken, pork, beef, whatever, and check with some of those small farms. Get your meat from there. Leave those grocery stores alone. Let them kick rocks, because it's not good for you. It's not good for you at all.
Yep, in New England they have those county fairs, and I think you can get quality beef and stuff through them. I'll see if I can check some out. I know Stu Leonard's, which is I think they're based out of Connecticut, but they have a store in Yonkers and a few other places that they have. They do it that way. So, two places that I know to go to get those kind of meats.
Right. Hey. Yeah, we do what we have to do on those fronts, man.
Yes, sir.
If you want to stay healthy and alive, that's the best way to do it. All that other stuff will kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I miss the other brothers because when y'all were talking about exercise, that's something that I need to do, because I'm starting to get it's not starting it. I'm starting to look pregnant, in other words. But I mean, I got this belly that I've been trying to lose, and so far I'm losing a little bit of weight. But like the brother said, which I heard it before, is to constantly keep at it. I started to work it out in the mornings, but I get up way early in the morning. I go to bed too late. Start working out, find some time even before I go to bed. Find some time to work out, even 15, 20 minutes out of it. Just get a full. I got a routine. As I told the nurse, I got a routine. Exactly what to do is just finding time to do it. It's the problem. But
if that's your biggest problem, if that's your biggest issue right there, put it on your calendar, because that's what I'm starting to do. Put it on your calendar so that your calendar goes off, and then either do it in the morning or do it in the evening. Like when you're off from work or whatever else, let that be kind of one of the first things you do, either as soon as you get home, if you're going to work out from home, or when you go, like before you go home. Let it be, because if you know you're going to go home and just chill, and that's your normal routine, you got to throw something in there that takes that out the way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of break the monotony out. But for you, I would probably tell you right now that your best thing to do would be, before you get full bore into it, is get your nutrition right.
Oh yes.
If you get your nutrition right, your nutrition will set the tone for everything else, man. For everything else, because you'll start. If you get your nutrition right, you can start losing weight, and I mean prior to, because it's like one of the best things to start doing is just incorporate protein only, and then go to like the complex carb. In other words, green vegetables. But make sure everything is like, do protein first, then do protein green vegetable, and then mix in some intermittent fasting inside of it. You'll start dropping, because the first thing High Risk One was right about that. The first thing you would be doing is cutting out sugar. First thing you would be doing is cutting out sugar. So sugar comes, and sugar is just not, I put sugar in coffee or I put sugar in tea or whatever else. Not just that. It's all of the things that your body will convert into sugar, or your body will take. Your body will take all starches and convert it into glucose. All of them. So bread, if you love bread, it's going to be hard. For that first few days, 3 or 4 days, it gets hard. And then once you get past that hump and you just keep going, I kid you not, if you went and said 30 days of no sugar or 30 days of nothing added that's going to have your body converted into sugar. So no rice, no potatoes, no bread, no pasta. You took all of that out and you went 30 days without that, you will lose about 30 pounds.
I think for me, it would probably be the diet more than the workout, because being a truck driver, between runs, I get 10 hours off. So that's me getting home, maybe stopping to pick up an errand or two, getting a bite to eat, getting clothes ready for the next day, and going to sleep. And if I could get 6 hours out of that of sleep, I'm good. So more of a diet. My problem is sugar, and my sugar was product of my childhood.
Yep.
I mean, I was addicted to sugar. There were times where I bought a box of Domino sugar, like a pound of it. It was in a yellow box, and a bowl of cereal and some cereal, box of cereal, and I would finish that pound of sugar within 2 hours of eating it. And then people would look at me like, when they hear and I tell that story, they just cringe. Like, how can you eat all that sugar? It was sweet. And every time they tell you, oh yeah, it makes you, a lot of sugar boosts you up, and you give it to kids and they're all jumpy and everything like that. And I was like, with me, it did the opposite. It was just too much for me my body to process at the time. And I remember back in the day when I drove school buses, and I used to get mad at the teachers because on Halloween they would give all the candy. It's like if the kids let out at 3:00, they would give them like at 2:30, give them all this candy, and then they get on the bus and they're so hyped and everything for the day. I said, okay, wait till next year. So next year I bought them candy at the beginning of the ride when they get on. But here you go, so boost them up right then, and now you're gonna suck all day.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fix you guys.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But I think it's more. I cut down a lot. I don't drink sodas as much as I used to. I may, unless I'm really tired on the road, I might buy a soda. But other than that, I leave sodas alone. I started drinking coffee without sugar. I can't do without cream. And I know cream adds a little bit of sugar, but not as much as I used to. I used to put about maybe 6 to 8 packages of sugar inside a cup of coffee. That it used to be like a little mountain. As soon as you finish the cup, there's a little mountain of sugar on the bottom of the cup. That was me. But now I finally got the urge and the taste, used to the taste of it. And then I noticed that caffeine started to make me dehydrated. It used to make me go to the bathroom a lot. So then I moved to tea. And then when I was in Puerto Rico and a few other, and I had coffee, and it was like, without sugar, it's like, oh, I gotta get used to this again. But their coffee is a little bit stronger than it is here. Yeah, way stronger. Yeah, you add, it's the opposite. You add a little bit of coffee, and then you add the rest of milk or cream or whatever you put in there.
Yeah, one of the ones that I really love is the Cuban style coffee.
Yes,
Cuban style coffee is really good. The Turkish coffee is really good, but they are, man,
strong.
If you were asleep before, you are no longer asleep, bro. They were a punch in the face. It's
Did
good
you
though.
did you hear the what's his name? Gabriel Fluffy, the comedian?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he tells a joke about that. Him and his buddies were in Miami doing a show. After the show, they said, well, let's have some Cuban food. We're in the area. So they go to this Cuban restaurant, and the guy, Gabriel asked the waiter for coffee. Okay, so he says in his Spanish, cafecito means small coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings him back a little saucer, a little plate, a little shot glass of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's Mexican, so he's like, nah, I want a cup, and he's like, I get it, he says, yeah, I get it. I'm a big guy, and you give me a little cup. Nah, I want a big cup. It's like, no, you don't want that. Yeah, give me a
He
big.
didn't know.
Yeah. So he brings him back a bowl of coffee. So then he's like, okay. So he takes a sip of it, and he's like, realize now I know why they give you a little cup, because that thing was so strong. So he felt bad to tell him to take it back. So he drank the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And the waiter's like, call 911. So you have to hear the routine, but it was so funny the way he explained it. He was like, yeah. What's his last name?
That's Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah, it's funny. And he talks about the Spanish languages and how you could tell which is which. He said the Mexicans sound like they're high. He said Cubans sound like they're angry at you. And Puerto Ricans speak so fast. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I had some relatives that speak so fast, and it's like, I can understand Spanish, but I can't speak it well. So it's like, so I'm listening to if someone's talking to me in Spanish and their dialect is so fast, and it's like my mind is processing with, okay, they said this. Okay, now my mind has to translate it to English because I think in English. Okay, now I have to find an answer for that. Okay, here's the answer. Okay, that's the response. Okay, now translate the response into Spanish. Then it gets lost in translation out my mouth. So my mind, if you ever see like a computer and you see the little scrolling thing, that's my mind processing the whole thing. And it's not easy.
Nice. Yeah, it's difficult, man.
Yeah.
When you don't understand, when you partially understand the language, because like part of what they're saying, then it's like, but did he say what I think he said? But yeah, you do. Those hamster wheels are turning.
Yeah. When I was in Puerto Rico, they were turning, I'm telling you. And but I did pretty well because I got a few compliments because I would tell them, listen, I don't speak well, but I'm gonna say it like this, that, and the other. And they would answer me, and then I'm processing it. Okay, then they would speak back, and so they were like, "Wow, for someone who don't know it in Spanish, you do very well." So I got a lot of compliments on that. So I was proud of myself. Nice. I impressed my wife, who doesn't know Spanish for beads. Say we'll be talking Chinese for all she can. But yeah, overall it was a good vacation. A good vacation, good time away. It took 29 years to get there, but we got there. So,
hey,
God be the glory.
No joke. I'm glad you were able to make it, man.
Yeah, 29 years. I deserve a medal. Pin a medal on me.
Well, hey,
God is good.
Yeah, he is. He is. Bro, you 29 years in, man.
Yeah.
Well, our guy might be asleep over on the other side.
Nah. You always shoot shots on the other side, the dark side of the rim.
Hey, man. Hey, I just figured that you might be asleep, man.
I gotta try and get some.
I feel you.
So ALR hasn't been here for a minute. He just getting off his anniversary. So my brother, you pick the Psalms that we read tonight, sir.
Psalms 100.
Great song. Great song.
That sounds like you had that already in
Oh, that's ingrained in me. That's ingrained in me.
So Psalms 100, it says, "Make a joyful shout to the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know that the Lord, he is God. It is he who has made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful to him and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations." Absolute. Big brother.
Amen.
Amen.
Can you please lead us out with a prayer, man?
Sure, I can do that.
Nice.
Father God, we just thank you for this day and thank you for allowing us to come together, Lord, to fellowship, just kind of hang out and talk about you and the things that's been going on within our lives and in the world. And we just thank you for just everyone that was up here tonight. And we just thank you for everyone that was also in the chat village. We just thank you for just watching over us and keeping us throughout the week, allowing us to be able to come together tonight by the power of your mighty hand. We just thank you for just being with us, keeping us. We thank you for everyone that was here. We pray for ALR, who is going through bouts of COVID. We just ask for your healing to be upon him and to heal his body and strengthen his hands and his mind. We just ask that you would just be with everyone who is sick and everyone who is in need of help, Lord. We ask that you would just show yourself strong within all of our lives. We just thank you for all of the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us, these things that you have given to us and that we are stewards of, Lord. We ask that we might be dutiful servants. That we might take care of the things that you have blessed us with. We just ask that you would just watch over us, continue to give us your wisdom and knowledge and understanding, Lord, that we might be able to be salt and light, to draw all men to you, and so that everything that we say and everything that we do might bring honor and glory to your name. We just thank you again for everything that you've done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. ALR, last words on you, brother.
I just like to say thank you, Lord, for all your wonderful kind blessings. The glory belongs to you. I thank God for the chat. Thank you for praying for me. A few weeks ago, I was almost in a head-on collision, and I noticed everyone's like, "Give traveling mercy, traveling mercy." So, and I appreciate that so much. You just don't know for us drivers, but probably Sweet Bread would say the same thing. I'm grateful for this platform where those of us can come up and get our questions answered. I thank God that we can come and, shed our problems or our issues and get some relief and get prayer. For the most part, get prayer. And I thank God. I just thank God for this platform. Thank God for using you, brothers, and Lyric and all and the rest, everyone who's here, just for the opportunity to come before you and just pour out our spirit to you and have the Lord use you guys to rejuvenate us and push us through another week. So I thank God for you all. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, big brother number one. Last words on you.
Well, again, thank for everyone that showed up today. Shout out to ALR who came up. It's great discussion, man, and really enjoy when you show up on the scene. Shout out to 84 who was up a little bit ago, and special shout out to our boy High Risk One, man. That was good to see him up here. It's been a minute, so shout out to him and prayers to him and his family. But yeah, for everyone that's in the chat, everyone that's been in here, all before, yeah, it's just a joy to come up here on Friday nights. I echo the sentiment of ALR. Having platforms like this where people can get up and give testimonies and give praise to the Lord, and to also just chop it up and just get questions answered, and all of these things, and get insight from others. I mean, it's great. So I enjoy it every time, and look forward to doing it again next Friday. Another one in the books, bro. Another one in the books. Keep tacking them on.
No doubt. Absolute, man. So I'd like to thank everyone that came up. 84. My man Iris One, we haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you. Good to see that you're in good spirits. ALR, thank you for coming up. Big brother number one, I love you, brother. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for allowing the Lord to use you, ALR. Thank you for allowing the Lord to use you, man. You come up here and you give us some words. Thank you, bro. In the village, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for making this Testimony Friday a part of the week. Sometimes we chop it up. I know we can bring God into anything. We brought God into video games. Come on now.
That's right.
So again,
Jesus created PlayStation and the devil did Xbox.
I know we play around and we try to bring some levity to this, but the conversation we were having earlier, take the time to decompress, man. Take the time to connect with the Father. Take the time to ground yourself. Take the time to just take a deep breath and just be in awe of what the Father is doing, what He's creating, what He has done, what He will continue to do. Just take the time, like Ant said, to we focus so much on the work as being that we're doing, opposed to the work that has been done. Just take the time to look behind you and just enjoy where you're at. Just smell the flowers, man. Just be in Him. Just take a second. So, that being said, big brother, you have anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No. Turn out the lights. The party's over.
There we go. All right, guys. Love you both.
Have a great rest of the weekend.
You too, guys. Love you all. Good night.
God bless.